so keep that in mind.
Yeah, hey, forget I asked.
That'll definitely do.
Ew. Join the Discord.
It was the least fun I've ever had playing this game.
A small but vibrant and extremely humble community.
No, I've seen the sleeves, but I'm like, you said you're suiting up, and then you put your sleeve on. Thank you for saying that.
Because I'm a demon on the keys.
Next thing I know, we're both dead. I immediately left the lobby.
In Vietnam.
What are they playing for? Are they playing to win?
Stay humble.
Stay humble.
We are live. Welcome, boys and girls, to another edition of the Dropshot Warzone Roundtable. This is, of course, episode number 125. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon. And you might notice that the round table, though it is still round, is much smaller now. Now, why is that, you might ask? Great question. Goated Oat just didn't reply, so cool. Goated Oat's been kicked from the channel. Cope Cowboy, don't know what he's doing. Cool, gone from the channel. And then there were a couple other people we asked. Tanner is once again in Zion National Park. Cool, kicked from the channel. No longer the co-host. So this, under the guise of a Warzone Roundtable, this is actually a group audition for co-host of the Dropshot of Call of Duty podcast, because Tanner, of course, has been fired, and I hope he is preyed upon by a cat, a large cat in Zion National Park, where he is at this very moment. Now, it is episode 125. I'm very excited to get into this. We have 4 guests plus me on the program today. And I was very excited to get this episode underway because even though we didn't exactly plan it this way, I think this is like a really good time to talk about Warzone, to have you guys on, because we have big changes coming next week, and we've gotten a lot of news and a tweet from Activision saying they're going to change things like the rose skin, weapon balance, etc., which we will, of course, get into. But before we do that, let's introduce ourselves again. Everyone here is, of course, a repeat guest, but I think it is worth repeating who you guys are. And hopefully you guys aren't as nervous this time. I would love that. I would love if you guys just plug the fuck in and relax, dude. Okay? Just plug in and relax. That's all I want from you. So we're going to go in reverse order this time. We started at the top left last time. Now we're going to start at the bottom right. So whoever this dipshit is on the bottom right, introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Razinon. To my left, to my right, actually, wait. This is your guys' left, yeah. To my left, who am I speaking to? The Rage Extraordinaire. Check out the Dropshot clips in the Discord, by the way. L2K has published...
That's getting deleted.
One of his... Well, no, it's not. It's already on my hard drive. 3 of them. Some viewer of L's published an excellent piece of media, the best piece of media that L2K has ever produced. What is this clip in question? Chat. Can you walk us through what happened?
So I die, right? Go to Gulag, just fucking rip in the Gulag, just rip.
Okay.
Land back. I land on some dude's crap that I killed. It's already gone. So I go kill another guy. He doesn't have any guns. So I go to where I initially died the first time to find no guns there. And then I look behind me and there's a Bertha. And after about an hour of the shit happening, I was done.
Done. Simply done. He was very
Things
done.
were thrown.
Yeah, go ahead.
I learned my mic picked up a pretty good amount of bass there. There were a couple good thuds.
Good.
Yeah, so
Sounds so good.
Love them.
You guys should join the fucking Discord. There's a Dropshot Clips channel. And I think it was Jimbo Slice, Mullet Proof Mute, friend of the program, of course, posted a
Banned
clip.
from my chat.
Well, I'll unban him. Don't worry, L. Mullet. Yeah. So once he gets run over by the Bertha, he stands up. I think you said, "I'm fucking done." You didn't throw your controller, but you didn't set it down either. Somewhere in the middle. I would say it was a toss. Yeah,
Still a toss.
I would say it was a toss. A pretty aggressive toss. We're on the cusp of toss and throw, and hurdle. Tosses his controller on the ground, but he's not done yet. Stands up and then actually throws his headset on his desk. And I laughed really hard. That's how the clip ends. So
I go take a shower right after that, and I'm thinking in the shower, I'm gonna go delete that clip right now. Get back on the computer to see it's already on Discord.
oh, it's safe.
Of course.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
safe.
once it's on the internet, it's there forever, man.
Yeah, so that'll be in a few Rage compilations, hopefully. But anyways, L, introduce yourself. Who are you? What's going on?
L2K Greatness. You guys probably already know me. I play way too much Warzone than I should. And that's pretty much the only game I play.
Yes, it is. Which you've been malding about, but we'll get into it. So up next here, top right, we have the young Jacob Down. Jake, tell us a little bit about yourself. How you doing? You don't seem very plugged in. What's going on?
What's up, guys? I'm Jake Down. You know me. I'm a little bit tired, but I'm here. We're doing the damn thing.
A little bit of a tired boy. We are doing the damn
Little
thing.
bit.
Welcome back, Jacob. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for trudging through the sleepiness in your eyes. I hope you don't
We're
have
good.
COVID-19, and if you do, I will. I don't know what I'll do. I won't be happy. Just survive. Anyways, next here to Jacob's left is McBango, returning as well. Bang, you shaved the beard.
I did.
Why?
And I don't know. I was tired of eating it. I'd rather like eat food instead of facial hair, you know?
Yeah.
Wait, that's not Bjorn?
When you have a big mustache and a beard and you eat like saucy wings, dude, it gets everywhere.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it really does. I have that
it
problem
just gets
too.
embedded. No,
Yeah.
no, you don't.
Yeah, well, I do. Yeah, that makes sense. How you doing, Bang? Tell us about yourself. Welcome back.
Doing good. Just chilling. Shaved the beard, like you said. Feels
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say one thing about that. Phantom beard syndrome is a thing, dude. I'm like reaching to like stroke what's not there. It's like, what the fuck?
That's interesting.
It's so weird.
That kind of makes sense, though. That kind of makes sense. Maybe you're gonna have to shave your head next. Complete the cleansing. Because you got some long
man,
hair.
I haven't cut my hair in 4 years, and it's not gonna change. Dude, it'd have to be like 1,500 gifted. Maybe I'll do it.
Damn. Okay.
Oh, wow.
All right. Well, hey,
See, exactly. It's not gonna happen.
clipped.
Gotta set goals.
We'll fucking see. Clipped. Anyways, Bang, thank you for being here, buddy. And to Bango's left, the first person to introduce himself last time, the last to introduce himself this time, young Cam Wilkes, formerly known as Killa Cam. A good change it, and I support his new name. Cam, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. How's everyone doing?
We're chilling, dude. Happy to
Chilling.
have you back.
You know the vibes.
Yeah, you know the vibes. So you and L are the only people who have not been Tarkov addicts in the past week or two. Have you been playing a lot of Warzone lately still?
That's all I ever play, man.
Yeah.
I'm addicted. Addicted to Warzone.
Well, you're a good guest to have on in that case. So today we are doing another roundtable. Just like last time, gonna kind of skip announcements here, and I'm also gonna go through all the love and support. At the end of the program, I want to be respectful of these boys' time. And I know how much you guys liked the last roundtable, so we're just gonna kind of dive right in. By the way, you guys liked it a lot. Apparently, I looked at the back end, the analytics, as they say. The last roundtable is like one of our most listened to episodes ever. Like it was surprising. It was cool though. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people listened to it, and I'm glad to have it back. And I will just say, before we do get into it, we are still going to have some other, some like average player representatives in an upcoming Warzone Roundtable. Maybe not the next one, maybe the next one. I don't know. But I think it's a good idea, and I think we're going to do that. So we'll have like one or two people here who are just kind of like a typical Warzone player, And their purpose will be to ask clarifying questions if someone says something that doesn't make sense or what have you. I think that's a good idea. So I think at some point we will be doing that, but it's obviously not tonight. And again, Tanner is not here. So I just thought this would be a good idea. And again, the timing's really good. So I'm very, very excited to get into it. Now, the first thing I would like to say is Warzone. Where's my mouse? Okay. Sorry. Warzone's been pretty stale. Many of you haven't been playing much lately, presumably because you're waiting for the new map. I am also in the same boat, by the way. And this was exacerbated, of course, by the obscene Psychov pistols. Now, for those of you who have also taken a break from Warzone because you're bored, they made it even more fun and exciting, this video game, by introducing a new Modern Warfare pistol, secondary weapon. So you don't need overkill to use it, right? Psychov pistol, which has full auto support, an 80-round drum mag, and you can also do it akimbo, by the way. So we talked about this months ago when this was leaked. And because we have brains on the Dropshot, barely, but clearly more than Activision, apparently. Because we have brains, we said, oh, this is a dog shit terrible idea, and it's going to be a disaster, nightmare, hellscape in Verdansk, which of course it is. Of course it is. So I haven't played yet since the Psychov has been introduced, but I've seen some streams, and a couple of you guys have played in the past, however many days since the Psychov released. Question number 1. Is this the worst meta of all time?
No.
Interesting.
It's up there, though.
What's the worst meta of all time, then?
DMR, without a doubt. Because you couldn't walk anywhere without
DMR.
getting instantly killed.
Interesting.
DMR will take some beating, the DMR. The R9's real close, but the DMR, I think the Psycho pistols are sort of around the sort of snake shot area.
Yes. Agreed. By the way, I agree with both of you. I think the DMR was in fact the worst meta of all time. Because you simply couldn't move, and it was good at every range. And the vehicles. And vehicles it would just shit on. So you couldn't even drive anywhere. I think that's what made
it completely
DMR,
eliminated.
Yeah.
Like, it made an entire class of weapons, the snipers, not worth using.
Yes. Yep.
There's nothing you could do.
Exactly.
Didn't matter if it was a Car 98 SPR built for ADS. Didn't matter.
Yeah.
The fire rate was too much compared to what you can put out with the sniper.
Yep.
And the accuracy is just...
And the magazine size. Hold fucking 30 rounds
and
of sniper rounds. And of course the damage.
Got clips of me doing like a whole quad with one mag. Like the DMR was just insane.
It was uniquely cancer because it was the only overpowered gun to ever be in Warzone that was good at all ranges. Like literally at all ranges. R9 was cancer, not good outside 40 meters. It's a joke. And then, Grau, Bruin, etc. So anyways, I agree with that. I will ask though, is this worse or better than snake shots before the nerf?
I think they're better than snake shots. The one thing that's really annoying about any pistol meta is everyone's ghosted off the rip.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
True.
It's the worst thing.
True. Yeah.
Snake shots, it was a little bit tricky to wipe an entire team with them, to where these auto pistols you can. Snake shots, you didn't have the ammo capacity. You had to reload a lot of the time. You had to kind of dip for a second. These pistols, as long as they just push right into you, they're dead.
True.
And you don't have to aim with the shit.
Are insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the snake shots, you maybe get like a couple people. With this, you can literally take a whole team and not even have to reload.
Oh my god.
Actually,
it's insane.
Although
It's insane.
the snake shots though, they could clap somebody from a further distance, like one shot. If you hit them both
the snake shots had a greater range, yeah.
Yeah, they were very effective.
You put stopping power as well.
Mid-range.
Well, hold on, boys. Hold on, because that leads me to my next question. If I want to be a meta abusing rat, which of course you have to be if you're playing Warzone, skill-based matchmaking. F's in the chat for SBMM Warzone. If you want to do that, you have to use the Psychov. So then the question becomes, is it better to use them akimbo or just one that's fully automatic, so now you have a free SMG?
Akimbo. Because if you use just one, you can still be outgunned by other guns, because they do have a bit of damage fall off. I was just using them today, getting them leveled up, maxed out. And granted, I'm going to compare it to an FFAR, which is another broken gun. You can't really compare a broken gun to a broken gun. But when I was aiming at somebody, I'd have the drop on them, aiming chest, head level. I would still get outgunned by a guy who would just snap on me with an FFAR and I was dead.
Yeah.
To where when you have a Kimbo, that's not going to happen.
I kind of agree with this too. Yeah.
Going from 80 to 160 bullets is a massive difference as well.
You're firing two of them at a time too.
That's a lot of a lot of rounds just firing out of your guns. Yeah.
The thing is, like, the FFAR, is a very good gun. It's more versatile than the pistols, but you're not beaten. If they're almost inside you, you're dead. You're already dead before you can even ADS with the FFAR. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
The only way to really beat it is range, is to keep the distance. And that's
I feel like if you get caught in a building, you're just like, even if you get good shots, they're just going to keep pushing you because they just have so much ammo.
You got to play distance game right now.
I got killed with them with stopping power. I mean, I was dead before I could even blink. Like, it was just over.
That might be the fastest TTK of all time.
I think so.
Absolutely.
Stopping power, akimbo, psychos.
It's gotta be close.
I'd be so fucking mad.
My God.
Oh my God.
How they could think
Earlier
that
today,
putting these guns in the game was a good idea, I have no idea. But every pistol that they've introduced, like automatic pistol or burst pistol, has always been broken.
Yep. And they keep doing
they
it.
just can't figure it out. Yeah.
And then you add akimbo
Just
into
today,
that as well. Like every akimbo pistol is pretty much broken.
Agreed. What were you gonna say, Ben?
Always, yeah. Even so, like just today, I was playing around and I went. I quick scoped the guy, broke his chest. He didn't see me, right? He had his back to me. I quick scoped him, broke his armor. He spun around with the pistols. I couldn't switch to my handgun in time. I quick scoped the moment I got the hit marker. I hit my switch weapon key, pulling out my pistol. He just spun around, gunned me down. I was full plated. I didn't even get my pistol out yet.
Yeah,
I was dead.
Yep.
It's dumb.
That's what sucks about like some guns are. I've said this many times, but some guns are OP, but at least you have to have a modicum of skill to use them. So like the DMR, actually, for example, at least you had to aim. At least you had to push your reticle on someone. With akimbo, 80 round drum mags, you don't even have to conserve ammo. Like there's no skill. There's none. You get close to the guy and pull the trigger the entire time. If you miss 100 bullets, it's not a problem. You've got fucking 80 or 60 more, which can easily kill 2 people. Easily. Fully plated. So there's just no skill at all involved, and that makes this like so much more cancer. Even though they're not as good as a DMR was, obviously, they take so little skill, and there's no counterplay if you're in a building, that it's really fucking cancer. I mean, just crazy. And someone was saying to me, who was saying this? Was it one of you guys? We were playing Warzone recently, and we were talking about these dog shit pistols, and someone was like, they have to do it on purpose. They have to know what they're doing. And the reason they do it, was it you? Is so that people tweet about it or something?
Talk about it, build up hype.
Free publicity.
Yep.
Do you think think that they think it's worth it to ruin the integrity of their game for impressions on Twitter?
Yes.
I do think they do it on purpose.
Interesting.
There's going to be those players that don't typically play well, like a little bit below average, but once they get those guns, they have their moment of glory for a couple days, and that's going to keep them playing the game, I think. It's just a way to let everybody have a moment.
Either way, people are going to play.
Look at it. Right, yeah. But there's always those people that are always kind of on the fence, like, God, I don't know if I want to play this. It's not as fun because I'm frustrated all the time. But then they get these guns that make them Jesus Christ himself, and then everybody dies in front of them. And they're feeling like a hero running around.
And then they buy a store-bought
5 milliwatt lasers.
Yeah.
You got the 5 milliwatt lasers, which make it
back in.
so easy to kill people with as well, because you just point the laser at someone and they're dead.
Yep. Yeah, it was Dubfire that said,
How do you guys
that
think you
said
can
that
nerf it?
last night, by the way. Go ahead, Ben. What'd you say?
How do you guys think you can nerf it? I've got a couple ideas. Cam, what do you think?
It's
How do you balance
the range, because they do work at 20 meters. You can still hit people, and you've got I think you've got to nerf the range, maybe make the recoil more so that they're bouncing all over the place and it makes them harder to control. But when you're so close to people, the recoil on them at the moment does nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, of course. The way to balance them, I don't think range would matter, because these are going to be mostly a problem when you're in a building. So if you nerf the range, it's not going to change anything.
It's the time to kill.
Nerf them to the ground. I don't care about them.
How would you do it
in the game?
I would remove Akimbo, and I said this a year ago. So I said a year ago, before Akimbo came out, I was like, hey guys, are you ready for Akimbo snake shots? That was what a nice time when Akimbo snake shots was the OP secondary to worry about. What a quaint, pleasant time that was. But here we are. Akimbo, any pistol is going to be dumb and abusable in this way. So number one, I would say remove Akimbo. They're not going to do that. So number two, I would say remove 80 round drum mag. If you still used Akimbo 20 rounds, still definitely overpowered, but not as much. What you could also do maybe is make fully automatic a perk rather than a barrel, so that you have to pick between Akimbo or full auto. There's a lot of creative ways you could do it, none of which Activision will do. What Activision's actually going to do is just like nerf the damage. But how do you nerf the damage of 160 bullets before you have to reload enough to where it's not good? Like, how little damage does it have to do? Is it literally going to be like 4 damage per bullet?
Yeah. It would just be wouldn't make sense at that point. I feel like they have to do it either, like you said, Raz, you can either pick full auto or Akimbo, but you can't have both.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
Here's
the way
the
to
thought.
do it.
Yeah.
So like when you've got one, you can gun down a lot of people if you're close enough. Granted, you're going to get outplayed if you're further away because the damage fall off. So I think a good way to balance it is once you have Akimbo equipped, your damage goes down. Like, just automatically nerf the damage of the Akimbo.
That's what they did.
And then, yep. Just follow the trend of what they had done before. Reduce the headshot damage multiplier, drop the damage on Akimbo, and make their more damage fall off. That way, you actually have to be up somebody's ass to kill them. And then if other SMGs can kill that fast too at that range. Make it comparable to the time to kill of the best SMG. Then there's a reason to not use an SMG and maybe use a pistol. But they're not going to take anything away. Yeah, they're not going to take anything away.
They won't.
So.
Yeah, I totally. Everything I suggested is wildly unrealistic. I think, like you said, what they're going to do is the same thing they did with the Diamati and the Renettis, which is exactly that. They're going to say, hey, if you're using Akimbo, the hip fire spread's wider, headshot multiplier is less, damage I think is less as well. They're probably going to do the same thing with these. But with 80 rounds each, I don't know if that's going to be enough. Like, actually. If they nerfed...
It probably won't be.
If they did the same thing to the Psychovs that they did the Diamatis, the Psychovs would still be OP. That's my contention.
Yeah, because you've got so much ammo that even if the damage and the fire rate is insane.
Yeah.
You can go through that 160 bullets in like 2 seconds. It's crazy.
Yep.
Like, I pushed a building earlier today, the blue building next to the neighborhood, and there was 3 guys in there, all with pistols. I was dead in like,
oh my god,
not even half a second. Like, not even half a second, bro. Like, I went in there, I was dead. I may as well have just chucked myself off the building and gone to the gulag, because it would have been a slower death.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Multiple people with those ratting it up in a corner,
and they're all ghosted as well.
Oh, of course, instantly.
And the other thing, on my class with the pistols, I've been running tracker, because you don't need to run amped when you've got pistols as your secondary, because you switch weapons quicker.
Interesting.
Oh, that's big.
So it's literally a waste of a perk using amped. So you may as well use something else. And tracker is a good perk because you can see where your enemies are going.
Yeah,
Just chase them down and keep shooting.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
That's a
Or
good
let off the
thought.
trigger.
That's a nice
Damn,
little.
yeah, that's big brain.
That's a spicy
Hands
little
onto some
take.
shit.
Yeah. I think you'd still switch from your Psychovs to your primary slower, but that I feel like doesn't matter nearly as much.
Well, that's after you.
It's
wipe
not
it and
as-
you got time to reload.
Yeah,
It's not as
exactly.
noticeable if you have like an SMG or an FFAR as your
Yeah,
secondary.
of course. Yeah, that makes sense. So, any other thoughts on these dog shit pistols before we move on here, boys?
I just feel like they got to do something to make it, because it's a secondary at the end of the day. It has to be significantly worse than a primary
Yes.
to make it like. Otherwise, it's not. There's no trade off. You get ghosts and a perfectly fine secondary that functions like a primary.
You hit one loadout and you're set for the game. That's it.
Yeah,
You don't need a second loadout. And the thing is as well, I've been noticing that it's so much harder like to find people at the start of the game because everyone's ghosted.
Mhm.
And you get the odd few that may run restock with it or whatever, but if they're running restock with it, you're just getting stunned to death, and then they're coming and fucking you in the ass with a fucking dual wield pistols. Do you know what I mean? Like
Psychos,
you don't even stand a chance.
Yeah.
It's not fun to die to, but they're insanely fun to use.
Dude,
Enjoy them while
that's-
you can.
Yep. I haven't played them in Warzone, but I was leveling them in Shipment Shoot House 24/7, and I finally got them akimbo. So I had them max level akimbo. I set it up the way you would set it up: mono, auto, barrel, 80 rounds, akimbo, 5 milliwatt, and wait, is that it? 1, 2, 3,
That's
4,
it,
5,
yeah.
yeah. And then I got Shipment cranked. Cranked. Oh boy, did I have fun.
Sounds fun.
I was fucking ripping kids, dude. Just zooming around the map, just kill the entire enemy team 3 times before I had to reload once, and then stopping powers back up. Fun, and just keep going. Holy shit, it was super fun because they are so overpowered, especially on Shipment cranked. I mean, it literally doesn't get better than that, actually. And I had a
They can't
riot
even
shield on
put
my
the right-
back. I was just vibing, dude. Go ahead, El. Sorry.
They can't even put the right fucking description in to get akimbo.
True.
Did you guys notice that?
Yeah.
I spent 5 fucking matches with the Renettis to get the akimbo.
Shit on.
I just use the gun. I just use the Psychov.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's what you're
yeah.
supposed to do, but
But
it says you have to do it with another gun.
Yeah.
I literally
Does it really?
I leveled.
Yeah.
It says
Yeah.
Renetti. It says I get 3 kills in a match 10 times using the Renetti with the Mo Money perk, and it's not.
God.
It's the Psychov. I don't know how they fucked that up,
They're
but
so dumb.
I
Copy
can't read.
pasted.
that's why when
See-
Dubfire says like, "Oh, they make things overpowered on purpose so that there's a Twitter like trending hashtag nerf the Psychov so they get more attention." I'm like, well, they've demonstrated their complete and utter incompetence and lack of understanding of the game because they of course don't play it so many times that I find it hard to believe that they did this on purpose.
Yeah.
But it's also
True.
so overpowered that it has to be on purpose. So I don't know what to think. I'm in a blender.
Well, they
There's no
about
way
how
they
they're
can
going
Months
to
ago when it was leaked, we've known about this gun for 6 months.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly.
They haven't tested it in that entire time apparently at all.
Oh, of course not.
It's like, oh, this is ready, guys. The bundles are finally ready. All right, put it out.
Yeah, the bundle's
to
ready.
go.
Launch it. Send it. Yeah.
artists have worked really hard.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, I think it's crazy as well because obviously the movement speed with the pistols is insane as well. So
I think so. Honestly, I thought they kind of weighed you down a little bit. That 80 round drum mag, it takes a lot. At least I thought so when I was using it today. Because I was running with the ZRG sniper and a single. I didn't have a Kimbo yet with a drum mag. I was running faster with the ZRG rifle, and I had that thing built heavy. It wasn't a quick build.
yeah,
Maybe that's just me. I was just looked at it that way. But
they're so easy. It took me less than an hour to level up and get a Kimbo. Like,
Oh yeah,
it's
it was
that-
super fast. There's only 40 levels. Yeah, it was a breeze. And with all
Yeah,
the
you
double
just go-
weapon
why
XP
just win it?
tokens.
I just went into Plunder. I done maybe 2-3 games of Plunder, maxed out, went into Shipment, got a Kimbo.
Yeah. Yeah. I went into Shipment Shoot House 24/7.
Yeah.
and I had my level 1 Psychov, which I barely used because I would just pick up one of the 11 other Psychovs on the ground that everyone else was using. Some would be a full auto, cool, set, and then just level it that way. But let's move on from this hellscape and talk about the proposed changes. And I think this tweet was from Activision or Call of Duty's account. And it was tweeted yesterday evening. Quote, there are a lot of changes coming soon that we think you'll be happy to see. An adjustment to Rose, the all-black BDSM suit operator skin. A significant balance pass to weapons such as the tac rifle Charlie. Why not just say AUG? And then they say M16. Why? What is the reason, dude? Explain it to me. Tac rifle Charlie, M16, FFAR1, and Psychov. Okay. Fix for MDub weapon perks, because they don't work right now, and sniper glint. So that, I would assume, refers to MDubs, variable zoom not having glint, and also Cold War optics not having glint. And then lastly, change to how you acquire the RCXD. Now first, let's go through these. An adjustment to Rose. Are we happy or sad about this?
But to be honest, I don't think the problem is with Rose. I think it's the visibility of the game. If there wasn't so many dark spots in the game, the Rose skin would be irrelevant.
Yeah.
Sure.
However, there are a lot of other dark skins, and they all have a little bit of reflectivity. They'll kind of shine light, and that's the problem with Rose. It's like black. It just absorbs all light, and it just blends into the background, where some of the other darker skins reflect a little bit. You can see them a little easier.
Yeah.
They add reflectivity, like a little bit of shine to like the edge or whatever, so you can kind of silhouette the target.
Yeah, they're not like matte. They absorb light. Yeah, they're like a black hole. It's like the black hole operator skin. It's so powerful, even light can't escape. You just don't see anything. It is a uniquely impossible to see black skin. Now, Cam, don't get me wrong. The visibility in this game is awful. I mean, the worst I've ever seen, which I've talked about for literally hours. Hey, literally hours. I've talked about how bad the visibility in this game is. Totally agree. But Rose is definitely the worst offender of all the operator skins. I'm curious what the next operator skin meta will be and how similar to Rose it will be. Because there are a lot of black skins, and they all do seem better than the Rose skin. But I don't know by how much. But anyways, what does everyone else think? Does the Rose skin need to be nerfed?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. We just have to see what exactly they're going to do, if it's even going to do anything.
And that is the next question. They didn't say they're removing it. They said they're adjusting it. What would an adjustment be?
I mean, if they're going to go and throw like a high-vis jacket on it or whatever, people are just going to use another dark skin.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So it's like you remove one item, but the other items are going to be in there, and the visibility is still going to be the same. Maybe when they nuke the map and, maybe the visibility will improve, we'll get Cold War visibility.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Add reflectivity. That's all they really need to do. Make it just like all the other skins.
Or just
Roses don't really see this problem.
Yeah, all these buildings and Superstore and that have these dark corners. Why don't they just put lights? Lights. That's all we want is lights in buildings. Why do we need buildings without any lights? Going to.
That's way too much of a project.
Nerf the skin.
Exactly.
It's easier to nerf the skin than to increase visibility in a game where it's good to actually see what you're looking at.
Agreed.
Do you know what I mean?
You don't really see this problem on Rebirth Island, though.
Even with Rose skin?
It's because it's a different map.
Even with Rose skin, yep. Different map, and the visibility on that map, and it has a different tint on it, and you never, in any corner, never have that problem.
Interesting.
I never really thought about that, but you're right.
Yeah.
As well, you don't have the sun shining in your eyes when you try to look in the direction of the sun. Which is another.
This new map could kind of have a Rebirth Island feel to it.
Yeah.
It's wishful thinking, that is.
Interesting.
It'd be good. Doubtful though.
we'll see for sure. That is interesting though. That's a good observation. I never thought about that. So yeah, the rose skin absolutely needs to be changed in some way. It's impossible to see. But like Cam said, the visibility in general is awful. There are plenty of times I don't see people who are wearing the cat pink fucking skin also, because the game is shit. But rose is definitely the worst. So I'm happy to see that. Next, a significant balance pass to weapons such as the AUG, M16, FFAR-1, and Psychov. I think we all agree on the AUG, FFAR, and Psychov needing a nerf, which is what this means. However, the M16, does this need to be nerfed?
It's already better than the AUG, yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be nerfed for sure.
The time to kill compared to the AUG is exactly the same, pretty much, I feel. The bullet spread is slightly tighter, I feel, on the M16.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
But
just
they're both just as
faster is really the only
Yeah.
thing.
Like, you still get 2 bursts with an M16, and you still get 2 bursts with an AUG. It's the problem with burst guns, it's so hard to balance, but yet make them usable at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
How do you nerf something
It's almost something to make it OP or nerf it to the ground.
Yeah, it's either shit
he's
or...
slightly better than FR6. Like, because that one, if you're close enough and you land all your shots with it, it kills decent. And the thing about that one is the recoil, like, your first shot will be dead center, second one's off to the left, the other one's off to the right. So you're only going to land all 3 if you're close enough. If they did something like that with those other 2 burst guns and kept the damage the same, it wouldn't be that bad. You would have to be close enough to die to them quick.
Yeah.
It would still maybe reduce the headshot multiplier a little bit on top of that. But you don't have to do a whole lot with it. It just needs a slight damage reduction.
See, this is why I don't know. I don't understand why they buffed the AUG in the first place when it was actually fairly balanced when they first brought the AUG into Warzone.
What did they do to it after that?
Well, they just made it the same as the M16, basically. The
bullet
damage.
velocity,
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like a
But
velocity
before-
nerf would be the easiest, cleanest way to nerf the AUG is to just nuke the velocity so that you just aren't going to land anything outside of like whatever 50 meters.
Employees made a reactive camo for it, and so they wanted to buff it so people would buy it.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Same as why they haven't
That's
nerfed
why.
the FFAR into the ground. Because they're making money off it.
Yeah. Yeah. So the more important by the way, I agree the M16 also needs a nerf. Way too accurate and way too much velocity. It's just really fucking strong and good. And yeah, but it's not as bad as the AUG was. Definitely.
I still think the AMAX is better.
Yeah, so what becomes meta after these nerfs, assuming they do enough?
AMAX. All day.
Nothing should ever be better than the AMAX. I think like that's the limit as far as time to kill. Because it's already
The thing that makes the AMAX balanced as well is the recoil. And the ammo capacity as well.
Yeah.
there has to
The
be a trick
AMAX
to a gun that can
The AMAX is a gun you can't pick it up day one and shred. You have to learn the recoil pattern, and like it takes a little bit of time getting used to.
True.
By far, my favorite gun to use right now is the AMAX. I feel I'm more consistent compared to the burst guns because you may land a bullet or 2 out of every burst at long range, whereas the AMAX, I land 90% of the bullets. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, for sure. It's auto. You can predict it more. What were you saying, Ben?
Yeah.
There's been guns in the game that have had insane time to kills, but they've had such drastic trade-offs. Like the AUG, the MW AUG 5.56 rounds has a time to kill of like 450 milliseconds, which is pretty fucking quick, but it's got a lot of recoil. So there's the trade-off to it. You're not going to be able to effectively use it consistently outside of, over 100 meters. And same with the MG34.
Yes.
That thing is a chainsaw. It just cuts through any target that you're hitting your shots on. But the recoil is crazy and the reload time is shit.
And the
it's
handling too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're trade-offs. So they need to balance guns. If they're going to have it just be incredibly fast time to kill, it has to have some serious drawbacks to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Make them skill-based.
AS Val
If you
too.
want-
It's the same
Yes.
thing.
Yep.
It's like
Ammo
kills
capacity.
insanely fast, but you got 30 rounds, bitch. and it doesn't reload that quick. So yeah,
Especially when sleight of hand's broken.
yeah, especially now, yeah. So what do you guys think is going to be meta after these? Assuming these nerfs go as planned, what's the next meta loadout?
AMAX Mac 10 probably.
Yeah, AMAX Mac 10. I think a lot of people might go back to the Modern Warfare MP5 once they fix sleight of hand.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Interesting.
AMAX. Maybe some people running the RAM again. I'll probably start running the RAM again too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. M4,
I can't
I've been seeing
wait.
A lot of people wanting to run the M4 or running the M4. They're saying it's pretty good again.
The
It just
M4
feels
is-
like it feels good.
It's always it feels good. And the stats on the M4 are good. Time to kill, velocity, ADS time, they're all pretty good. They're just I just feel like the RAM's just better. But if
M4 is just
you're,
all reliable.
yeah, exactly. But if you're not on keyboard and mouse, the RAM's very awkward to use, I've been told. So, and the AMAX is too. I mean, the AMAX is, got a lot of recoil, but if you can control it, it kills noticeably faster than every other AR. Like, noticeably. If you're actually hitting your shots, obviously. But the recoil is pretty significant. And the ammo capacity, which is what balances it. Is the Mac 10 really the next secondary?
The
What's that
movement
new
speed and everything.
Or
With the Mac.
the Groza maybe.
Yeah.
I think the Cold War MP5 is up there as well.
Groza's nasty.
A new SMG coming too. That's at the
That's what I was gonna say.
CX9.
I cannot wait for the CX9 to drop.
Oh yeah.
That's
Nah,
gonna be
the fuck
broken for
that
sure.
means.
That
Yeah.
one's gonna be broken too. Prepare yourselves.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
I saw someone, I think it was Joe O, had a Mac 10 that he could like run faster than the train. The train that goes around, he could catch up to it.
Really?
So I don't know what his build was, but that's what I heard.
It's the build I gave you guys a couple days ago, Raz.
Yeah. Like bruiser
Interesting.
grip or whatever. Or patrol
It's just
grip or some
pretty
shit.
much meant for speed, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I rock on mine. Is the bruiser grip.
You had the flashlight on it too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
meant to
weird.
improve movement
Catch the
speed
train, that's weird.
and damage range or something as well.
It
It's
says it
weird.
increases damage range until JGod makes a video. I don't believe it though.
Yeah.
It makes me so mad that you you turn on a light and your bullets go farther. Cool. Nice game. Very super cool. I love that. So, not that I give a shit about realism, but that's like really offensive to me. I don't know, but
Light, dude.
oh, you can see. What I am excited about too with these is like, well, I don't know if I'm excited. What I was gonna say is, people will start sniping more because you are just gonna get shit on and two-tapped by a burst weapon. But do I want more snipers in Verdansk? I don't
You
know.
have to be good to snipe.
Well, as
You
long
do-
as they fix the variable
True.
zoom.
True, and they'll fix the glint and shit too. So maybe that would be kind of a way to balance the snipers a little more. But I don't know. Interesting. So side note here, ZRG 20mm. We talked about on this program, Tanner and I, that the stats are basically just like HDR but better. Have any of you guys used it in Warzone?
Maxed it out today.
Oh, you did, Bang? What were your thoughts on it?
It's got trade-offs. So it's got just insane bullet velocity, like absolutely absurd. You're going to shoot in front of every single target you're firing at because you're not going to expect it to be that fast. But at the same time, it does have drop. And unlike the HDR that shoots pretty much perfectly flat out to like 250 meters, the ZRG or the Zerg, as I've been calling it, it drops. It basically starts dropping right out the barrel. So unless you have all the best attachments, you're going to have to compensate for drop like you would with like an AX50. It drops quite a bit, even though that the velocity is really fast. It drops enough to be really misleading and hard to figure out. But once you get the wrap suppressor or whatever, and then use the combat recon barrel, it flattens it out a little bit, but it still starts to drop around like 200 meters or so. But for shooting people that are in vehicles and stuff, it's quite nice because you don't have to lead them all that much. Like at about 200 meters, somebody on an ATV at full speed going broadside to you, aim one ATV length in front of them. That's it.
What? Yeah.
Shoot quick. Although like a lot of attachments really screw up the ADS time. And that's one thing that it has over the HDRs. If you build the HDR to have good ADS speed, you're sacrificing your bullet velocity and you're gaining yourself drop, to where if you kind of stick with attachments that don't have the negative to your ADS speed with the ZRG, ADS is real quick and still has that kind of flatter, faster trajectory. So there is a reason to use it, but my own thoughts on it are, if you get good with the ZRG, you're going to do even better with an HDR.
Interesting. So you find that the faster ADS time isn't worth it?
Because you have the trade-off of bullet drop and shit like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Interesting. Very interesting. I've been leveling it. Mine's finally max level. I haven't tried it in Verdansk yet, though. But I'm very curious to.
That capacity is a bitch,
5.
too. Yeah.
Well, 3. 3, 5 with extended
3,
mags.
4, 5, 6, and a 7.
Yeah.
So they give you whatever one you want. But
you would use 5,
if you're not using
I would
one.
say.
Yeah, I would say the 5 or maybe the 4. I think
The 4-round fast
probably
mag,
just
yeah.
split the 5.
Yeah.
Because when you've only got 3, if you miss 1 or 2, and you've got that one shot, and you only break their armor, well, guess what? You got to reload.
Yeah.
Now they got away. They got around that corner.
Yeah.
It is a pain in the ass. Ammo.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to set it up with Wrap Suppressor, Combat Recon, 5-round mag, Serpent Wrap, Raider stock or Raider pad. So then it'll be like the same ammo as an HDR.
Speed grip. Or the speed tape or whatever.
Oh, is that the one to use instead?
To increase your ADS time with it.
Okay. That's, yeah, whatever.
You want to have at least one buff with it. I would recommend the speed tape.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Whatever it was. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. So I think snipers will return. I think, man, I don't know what we're going to see. This is good. We have the potential for like a nice juicy meta if all these nerfs go through, but we also might see that Groza become like the best SMG in the game, like Elle said.
Yeah.
I think that's very possible.
And
I fucking hate it. I hate the double AR meta. It's cancer. I want to have 2 ammo types. Stop it. Stop making me use double AR. I simply refuse. I just die to an FFAR when I'm using an SMG. I'll accept that because I hate running out of ammo. But I'm really over it. I'm really over it.
Give me a full auto AR and a full auto SMG. That's what I want the meta to be.
Yeah.
I can't see the Groza being better than the Mac 10 as an all round.
It is. It's better already.
I think the time to kill is faster.
Yeah.
But the movement speed and everything with the Mac 10 just outweighs the fact that you can kill someone slightly faster.
Have you seen the strafe speed on the Groza?
Yeah, it's nasty.
You
It's
fucking
pretty
fly.
nuts. Yeah. Yeah, it's
For
pretty
the
nuts.
FFAR, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because because I think the mil-spec barrel, which is the one you want to use, gives you strafe speed. So it's FFAR plus like 20% or whatever. It's so fast that I'm not kidding. I've missed shots because of it.
You'll aim down sights and you'll strafe to the right, and then when you start shooting, you go.
Yep.
You start speeding up.
Yep.
Zooming.
Start zooming
Like
like the
Bingo
stoner
Stoner.
build. Like the Bingo Stoner build. Yeah.
I'm just tired of using double AR.
Yep. So am I.
I don't mind it too much because I've never really found myself out of ammo, but
It's not running out of ammo, but it's when when you're
play more aggressive, right?
when you're trying to move from one place to another, having an SMG or a pistol or something, you just zoom across
For
the
the
map,
movement
man.
speed, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not the strafe speed, it's about when you get from point A to point B. That's the difference with the Mac 10. And to be honest, I've been running the Cold War MP5 a bit recently as well. And I've got it set up for hip fire as well. So I've got I think it's the Ember sighting point or something on it, which has got it's a flashlight and a laser.
Yeah.
And the thing shreds.
Yeah, the
thing
MP5 has
shreds.
always had really good stats in Warzone. The Cold War one. It's just
a
a
bit
very
bouncy when you
odd
ADS.
recoil.
Yeah.
It goes
Very
straight
odd
fucking up.
It's like blah,
It's-
and then it
yeah.
stays there though. So if you like, I feel like you have to just pull down real hard at the beginning,
Ram
and then
that
you can
fucker
chill,
down.
and then you can.
I
chill.
use it like I always start off with the hip fire and then I move into ADS depending on where the enemies are or how you're moving.
That's actually
But
pretty smart.
The hip fire is pretty good on it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've used it a bunch, wanting to get good with it, but the recoil's always fucked me up.
It's a weird gun.
I was doing a little better with it, but
it's fun to use. Very fun to use.
Yeah.
It does cook.
The Bison's fun to use as well. Not the Bison, the
Bullfrog, the bully boy.
Yeah.
Bully's great.
That's a weapon you want to hip fire, by the way. It has the best hip fire spread by default of all Cold War SMGs. I think that's part of the reason that people really like it, is because they're used to M-Dub's insane hip fire accuracy, and the Bullfrog's like pretty close with also like really good headshot multiplier. So it's actually like pretty fucking good.
See, I wish they would buff the Milano, man, because that gun would be so fun to use.
It's
I think so too.
Yeah, it's like the M13 of Cold War SMGs. Handles really cool, just awful damage. It's awful damage.
Like, I mean, when they first integrated the Cold War weapons, before anyone really knew what was the gun to use, I was rocking the Milano because I picked it up off the ground and I was like, yo, this is actually all right. And I used it, I put it in my class and everything. It's actually not bad. But then when everyone figured out, when the Mac 10 come out and everyone figured out, you know, the gun to use and everything, that kind of slowly faded away. But the gun is so fun to use, but it just doesn't do enough damage.
I feel that way about the LC10.
I think it's slightly better with the damage.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. They're both shit. That's what I know.
Yeah, because there's the ground loop blueprint, the reactive camo one or whatever, and it does kind of fry when you pick it up, but you know, compared to an FFAR, it's no match.
Yeah, of course. Another question. Like go ahead, man.
It's kind of like the Modern Warfare Uzi, to where if you hit a headshot with it, it does a lot of damage.
Yes,
it's got that good headshot damage. So if you can land a couple of them, you're gonna get a good damage lead on the target.
Mm-hmm. True.
Yeah, see, the
but
Uzi
if you
is kind
miss
of
a shot, you go down.
Yeah.
I actually liked it. The ground loop rotation where they had the gray Uzi and the green Uzi. I actually liked that selection of ground loop when I think they had the kilo as well. That was a good ground loop. That was fairly balanced. You could pick up anything and sort of be okay. Whereas now, when you pick up ground loot, if you haven't got an FFAR and you come up against someone with an FFAR, you're pretty much dead.
You're completely fucked, Phil.
Yeah.
It's cancer. Agreed. This might all be moot, by the way, when Season 3 comes out, because they might release new weapons on launch day. Do you think they will?
I hope so.
I think they might bring out this CX. Is it the CX9?
CX9, yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to see that.
That comes next week. That'd be awesome.
It's going to be busted for sure.
I think so too.
Because when you pick the one that they put out in the ground loot was pretty disgusting.
Can it be more busted than what the FFAR is right now, though?
No, but for SMG terms of things, like I think it'll probably be better than the Mac. Whether it have the same mobility as the Mac, you know, you have to wait and find out what kind of builds. But I think that one that was in the ground loop was kind of a weird build. It was almost like a long range kind of build.
I don't remember.
And it had like a red dot on it, and it was
Had like the monocle dot on it. Yeah,
it had like a long barrel and a stock on it and everything as well, I think. But
don't we usually get leaks as to like what the next weapons are for the season? I haven't seen anything.
I know.
It's like what's coming out.
Me, same here. That's why I'm super curious too. CX9 obviously makes sense, but if they're gonna release a gun
6 months ago too.
Yeah, exactly. That's
why put it in the fucking beginning of season 2 when we're not gonna get it in season 2.
Activision.
It doesn't even make sense though that they're releasing M-Dub weapons still. Like that doesn't even make sense.
Wasn't the Psychop originally going to be a Cold War weapon?
I don't believe so.
A clip that someone posted of it like full firing down the stairway, that was in Cold War.
Oh, was it?
It almost looks like a Cold War weapon though.
That's Cold War.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
It almost looks like a Cold War weapon, but then they've added it as an M-dub, so you got the 5 milliwatt laser. You can have perks on it and everything. So, yeah, I think if they'd released it as a Cold War weapon, it wouldn't be as good as it is.
True.
Probably
I agree
true,
with that.
especially for SMGs. Yeah,
Because the 5 milliwatt and
because
shit.
of the M-dub. M-dub hipfire spread in general is just 3 times more
Insane.
effective than Cold War for some reason, which I fucking hate. It's really dumb that the most skilled way to use an SMG is to not aim it. That's actually so crazy to me.
That
Like-
pisses me off.
It's so dumb, dude. Like, and I watched these insane streamers back in the day, the good old days when the M-dub MP5 was the most OP gun or secondary. They would simply never aim down sights, and it pissed me off. But it was the best way to use the gun, because why would you aim?
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see about the CX9, but yeah, it's. Are you guys sure it is an M-dub gun? I don't know. It could still
looks
be
like
a
an
Cold
M-dub
War
The
gun.
gun.
CX9 was M-dub when it first came out.
It looks way
It
too
had the
modern to be a
monocle
Cold
reticle
War.
on it. That's only available in M-dub.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it looked way too modern to be a Cold War gun.
Well, and
Okay.
it's in the Spec Ops in Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
in Modern Warfare.
Okay.
All of them are.
Got it.
What about
Yeah.
that new light machine gun? That thing was a chunky boy when
Yeah,
you get it out of the
Raw
loot.
or whatever.
Yeah, dude.
What was it called?
The RAAL, the RAW.
Oh yeah, maybe we'll get that when season
Big
3 comes
chunker.
out.
Had like its own proprietary scope too, like a rangefinder VLK type scope.
Interesting.
Wait, is that the one with the Yeah, is that the one with the weird scope that was on the ground? before?
Yeah, it's like a 300
last
Norma
season.
mag too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And
I remember
you'd
talking
aim
about
and it would
this.
tell you
Mhm.
how far the enemy was away or how far the object that you were aiming at was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
little
Yeah, that was weird.
rangefinder.
It almost looks like a PKM, but weird.
It's a chunky boy, man.
Yeah.
Will an LMG ever be meta
Like-
again?
Not unless it has
If they
the ability
release
that the
one
Bruin
that's
had.
worth using, like not with any of the current ones. Maybe the
PKM.
Stoner, possibly.
The PKM is so good, but the whole reason why the Bruin was the way it was is because it had the mobility of a AR, but the damage of an LMG.
Yeah, exactly. You
Super quick reload. Yeah.
Yep. The only reason the Bruin was ever meta was because of the 60 round mag, because it made it
Yeah.
handle like an AR in every way, and it still had LMG velocity and damage. So unless they do that again, the raw will be cool. I love using LMGs in Warzone, like in quads. Equipping the PKM, the Pick'em with that snatch grip, one of the best attachments in Modern Warfare. Super fun. Not a good gun though. It's not like a gun you would use if you want to win games. It simply isn't.
It's viable,
It's
but
viable.
it's not.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not meta anymore.
But you wouldn't want to choose that over an AMAX.
No, of course not. Not if you want to win.
No.
If you want to, like, you know, meme a little bit but still do well, you could use, like, you know, tac laser, fucking VLK, mono, long barrel, snatch grip, and what would the last one be? I forget. It doesn't matter. But yeah, that's for sure. Anyways, yes, I'm curious to see what happens. I don't know if they're gonna release guns on season 3 though, because like you said, Jake, I feel like we would have already gotten some hint or some leak about what's coming.
Yeah.
And if it hasn't happened by now, I feel like it won't.
Yeah. When is the update? The 22nd, right?
It is the
Thursday?
21st is when the announcement's happening. And my contention is that there's going to be an LTM for a day, and then on the 22nd on Thursday will be like the season 3 update where we can play on the new map and shit.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my guess, but I don't know for sure.
Makes
obviously.
sense.
Yeah.
As they do everything on Thursdays.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then fixing the sniper glint and then changing how you acquire the RCXD. Cool. So, let's go through. Bang, you asked in the Discord last time. Does anybody have anything they would like us to talk about on the next roundtable or something like that? This first one here is from Ben G, a parent boomer. Keep it. You old boomer fuck. Love you though, Ben. Thanks for hanging out last night. Viable off-meta guns. Different team roles in your squad. Launcher guy, supporting sniper. Okay, so there's a lot of questions here. Let's go one by one. Viable off-meta guns. Do they exist?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think Bingo takes over this question.
Bango's
You can
the
use the
king of
M4.
viable off-meta guns. Yeah, I would say.
I would say you can still use the M4. It's a very, it's good at all. It's almost good at all kind of ranges. It's not the best at any range, but it's a good AR. That's not the meta gun to use.
Yeah.
So one of the light machine guns that we were just talking about, LMGs, the SA-87, that thing has an insane effective damage range, like most light machine guns, and it feels a lot like an AMAX. So if I had a theory, if somebody was to set up an SA-87 like they would an AMAX with the VLK or whatever, make that more of your ranged weapon, and then they could set up an AMAX for closer range, you would have two guns that just slap really hard. But you're not using two assault rifles. You got kind of a little bit of a mix. So potentially maybe the SA-87, if people started using it and messing around with it, because the recoil climbs kind of like an AMAX, it feels so similar to it. But the PKM will probably outshadow it because you get the snatch grip, like you said, 100 rounds.
M91
honestly, there's not a whole lot.
shout.
Yes, that's a good one. It hits really hard at range, good effective
They
damage
did
range.
buff it
but
a little
it's
while
not
ago.
as good as the PKM. Yeah, it's just not as good as the PKM as far as mobility goes. That's the main drawback to that
No.
one.
In any respect, it's not as good as a PKM. Like, what is an M19 better at? I think maybe it hits harder damage per bullet, but it's not even a faster time to kill because of the fire rate. Handling certainly isn't better.
I think it's just got better effective damage range.
Yeah, that could be it. Maybe. Yeah. I feel like
I think
the
the MP7
off-meta
is good.
guns... The MP7? Is that what you said?
I think so. Yeah, it's accurate. It's a
MP7
beam.
is so
Like it's
fun.
a good.
It's so fun to use.
It's a
It's so
mid-range
viable.
weapon. You can use that. Pair that
Yeah.
with a sniper rifle. Pair it with a sniper rifle. Learn to control the fucking recoil, and you will beam kids.
Dude.
If they're behind a head glitch, there's such little recoil that if you're hitting them, all you're hitting is headshots. I use it all the time still.
Yeah,
I reckon
find with
souls with that thing
MP7.
still.
I'm malding. There was a time when the MP7 was a viable off-meta weapon. That time is gone. There are too
They
many
never
better
touched it, though.
options.
They've
now.
never touched it.
But-
they never did anything with it.
True.
Never done anything to it.
True.
But
The
everything
thing is
else
with the
got way better.
MP7 is it's
And
like
that's just it.
power
Everything
creep.
got better.
It's power
than
creep, yeah.
The way it used to be. Yep.
Yeah, are we
But
saying
what it
it's
is with the
viable
MP7
right now, or just when there's not 4 broken guns that can kill you in before you can even turn around? Is like,
I want to say when there aren't ever any OP guns, but then we would just be
Well-
talking about Narnia.
yeah,
We're talking viable.
So,
We're not
like,
saying
right now.
it's meta or OP. We're saying viable.
No, yeah, I know.
well,
I
right,
know.
and that's
It's
what-
still
that's what I'm
viable.
saying. It's right now. There's a lot less viable off meta guns because the meta guns are so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Then, like, if an AMAX becomes meta, then it kind of balances things out. 'Cause
Yes.
That's obviously going to be your best, but then those viable ones, it's going to close the gap a lot more.
The thing about the
See, with the
MP7, it's more accurate than a Mac 10 at range. So, like, when you
True.
get into the longer range engagements, you're going to beam, you're going to hit more shots than you would with a Mac 10 because the Mac 10 bounces left and right. It's got a lot of bounce. MP7 has no bounce. Throw a fucking commando grip on there, no bounce. The recoil climbs up just a little bit, but it's a laser beam. It's like an M13 basically of submachine guns.
Hmm.
see with the
1000%
MP7,
agree.
yeah, it's like it's really good at lots of things, but it's not the best at any of them.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it. I think it's good at a lot of stuff, but it's not the best
Hmm.
at any of them.
I think as far as SMGs go, it's probably the best for range. So, like, if you pair it with the Car 98,
Yeah.
But I couldn't
That's a really
justify
good choice, because-
using that over a Mac 10 because if I'm using a car and they're past the sort of Mac 10 range, I'm pulling out the car anyway.
Yeah, but this is why
get into
I don't
the
think it's...
situation, though.
Yeah, I don't think
Go ahead.
that it is appropriate to compare an MP7 to other SMGs. What would be more appropriate is to compare an MP7 to other secondary weapons. Because if we're only talking SMGs, the MP7 is viable because it has better range than every other SMG because of how fucking insanely accurate it is. But you have to compare it to other secondaries. So if we're talking about, like, okay, I'm using a car. An MP7 is not viable with a car because you could also be using a holographic RAM, an M4,
MP5.
maybe an
I've used an MP5 with a car.
An AUG, an FFAR, a Groza. Like, the MP7 is just not viable there anymore.
You got to use it right, though. So, like, if you're pairing it with a car and you pull up and you snipe somebody and all you do is break them, you just quick switch and they're dead. You just beam them. Because it's so accurate, as long as you don't move your mouse or your thumbstick, whatever, you switch weapon and pull the trigger in ADS, you're going to hit them, you're going to kill them.
It's best paired with the car or a sniper.
It's a very good SMG to pair with any
It is best paired with a car, but it's also not worth using with a car. Therefore, it's not viable. That's like kind of my argument. Like, I totally agree, but okay, so we disagree on the MP7. I don't think this is. Yeah, I don't think this is going anywhere.
I don't think you can reuse the MP7.
The MP7 is my favorite Modern Warfare gun in the game. I love the MP7. I'm an MP7 stan, but the Warzone's just too cancer right now to call it viable, in my opinion.
Let's just say that everything's like the broken guns are balanced. Let's go from that perspective.
Then the MP7 is definitely viable. Yeah,
that's
sure.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, are we talking right now?
There are broken guns in the game. Yeah, they're broken guns in the game. You got to kind of ignore them a little bit. Talking about viable off-meta weapons here.
But if the FFAR is balanced, I would still use it over the MP7 paired with the sniper anyway, if it was balanced, because it's going to give you that sort of medium range to close range. It's going to be similar to the RAM, where it gives you that medium to close, if it's balanced.
Interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they're going to do with a lot of these guns.
Yeah,
because
this is
balancing it is going to give it a similar sort of feel to the RAM, but you're going to use it with that iron sight because it's a nice iron sight.
Oh, so good.
I would say viable off-meta weapons right now with the OP guns that exist. RAM is an actual viable off-meta weapon. M4 probably also. I haven't used it in a while, but the stats are really good on it. I actually kind of want to give it a try to see if it feels the way the numbers suggest it should.
It is still good.
Yeah, I would imagine. AMAX, I would say too. I don't know if we would call that off meta. I would venture to say right now it is off meta.
It's
You see enough
compared to the M16.
I'd say it's meta.
pretty much meta.
So many people still
Okay.
use it.
Less people use it compared to the M16 and the AUG. That's the reason why it's not the meta. If more people used it, half of it I think as well comes down to there's a lot of the player base that are on console, and the AMAX feels completely different on console as it does to PC.
Yeah, that's true for the RAM too. And then what else would I say? Bullfrog, viable off-meta weapon.
Cali sticks.
You're gonna put Bullfrog in there, but not the MP7.
Yeah, the Bullfrog's way better than an MP7.
It's way better than the MP7.
Way
all
better.
day.
Way better.
I
It
don't know
kills
about that.
way faster up close than an MP7. That's the
And
big
you've got-
weakness of
and
the
the ammo
MP7.
capacity,
The
yeah.
MP7 has awesome range, and it has fucking no recoil and a
That's a-
fat magazine and fast handling. Those
That's
are
a
all the
big fat
things.
K.
Talk it up, man. Talk it up.
Those are all the
Okay.
things that make it good. But the simply put, the damage it does is not high, and it's certainly not high compared to a Bullfrog.
Shooting him in the
It's a
feet.
pea shooter compared to the Bullfrog.
Well, I mean, if you're hitting all headshots, the Bullfrog, I feel like the Bullfrog, if you don't hit headshots, it's useless.
That might be true. To be fair, I haven't actually
So,
used it recently.
I mean, if you're hitting
but,
headshots,
Hit headshots,
with an MP7 and a Bullfrog, they're gonna be. I feel like they're gonna be pretty similar. And the hip fire is way better on the MP7.
that's true because it's an MW gun. Yeah. Interesting.
I don't know. I haven't used the bullfrog much, but I've used it a couple times, and I felt like if I wasn't hitting them in the head, it took so many bullets to down somebody.
But you've got so many more bullets as well.
Yeah.
It's got a
To be fair, the hit fire on the
wouldn't
bullfrog actually feels pretty good.
You have like 5 more bullets. It's 60 versus like 64. I think.
But I'd put like an 80 round mag on the.
Oh well, then you set it up.
I feel like
wrong.
you have to make the bullfrog like if you're going for good hip fire. I feel like you have to kind of set it up that way. Whereas like the meta build for the MP7 is going to have good range, good hip fire, plenty of ammo. Like I don't know. I feel like there's not as many trade offs.
Interesting.
But I mean, they're both obviously pretty viable as far as off meta.
We'll see. And then to continue this list before I think this is not quite worth debating too much. That's why I'm kind of skirting by. So we'll agree to disagree. SPR, viable off meta gun. HDR, viable off meta gun. There is no Bruin with a 60 round mag is
Still viable.
Barely viable. Barely viable. Barely viable off meta gun. No other LMGs are. PKM maybe barely.
Dude,
barely
PKM
viable.
is underrated. It's so good.
It's just so slow, dude. It's so slow.
It's a light machine gun. It's supposed to be slow.
I agree. I'm just saying that's why it's not. That's why
it comes down to playstyle too. It wouldn't be viable to a run and gun player. It would be very viable to somebody who likes to get a good position and gatekeep. If you're not running from team to team to team and you're just out positioning other teams and you post up, that gun is going to just shred people.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
It really comes down to playstyle too, the weapon you choose. Well, we haven't gotten into that, but we're just kind of talking about guns. But you switch up your playstyle, the gun you choose kind of switches with it.
If they hadn't nerfed like so many of these guns into the ground, like the Grau would be more viable if they hadn't nerfed it as much as they had.
Because it's not.
Because it's such a fun gun to use.
It's great.
The time to kill on these other guns is so high that
I think that's the problem, because the Grau is actually viable if it wasn't
you run into someone with an AUG or an M16.
Exactly.
Well, that's a new damage drop off. That's why it's not viable. It has the same thing the Kilo has, where there's an extra damage drop off that no other AR has except the Kilo. That makes it
I don't know why.
Not only not viable, but unusable. It's the second worst AR in Warzone. The Kilo is the worst AR in Warzone.
I would sooner use the Grau.
Yeah, so would I. Than a Kilo.
I don't know why they've done that to the Kilo,
AR,
to be honest. Because I think the Kilo was probably one of the most balanced metas that this game has had.
I agree. It wasn't
the Kilo. The reason why the Kilo was so widely used is because it had zero recoil and it was just an easy gun to use. But it was never so strong that you thought, "Fuck's sake, I've just been killed by a guy with a Kilo." Nah, because he hit all his shots, but it still took 20 bullets to down you or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. I agree. The Kilo meta was balanced, boring but balanced.
Yeah,
I would say.
But you could use that meta. You could still use like the AMAX or whatever.
Yeah, of course. There was a lot of competition. You could use a lot. You could use a Ram still. You could use
use a Grau.
Grau. Yeah. Maybe Grau. That might have been post Grau nerf. I don't know. When we say off meta, by the way, we don't mean that it's not good. We mean that it's not used by a lot of people. So someone was malding that I said the SPR is off meta, and then they said melee, change it. SPR literally best sniper at the moment. I agree. I think the SPR is the best sniper in the game. That doesn't make it meta because no one uses it. Like not no one, but it's not used that often. Everyone uses the car. The car is the meta sniper. It's not the best sniper, but it's the meta sniper. That's what when we say off meta,
feels so good.
We mean guns that aren't used that often. Just to clear that up.
SPR was good when it's hit scan.
Yeah, it certainly was. Yeah,
that was the worst meta, I think. It's an SPR. Yeah. Oh, you're in a chopper and you're only 399 meters away. Guess what? I have just 1 meter to hit you perfectly. You're fine.
Just be dead.
Dink City. Yeah.
That was fun and exciting. That was fun.
I can't believe
that's the only
that was probably one of the most broken things they ever put in this game. hit scan
It
sniper.
really was. Oh my god,
So,
I forgot about
good old
that.
Activision, dude. So, anyways, so Ben also says different team roles in your squad. Launcher guy, support sniping with the M82 versus using a more conventional sniper.
I think he's watched a lot of my clips.
Yeah, that's what that seems like. So
Bango.
having a designated launcher guy could be good.
That's a good idea. It's a good idea with the Strela. Because, like, if there's a rover with a full team and one of your guys starts beaming it with whatever gun, they can just turn their wheel and drive away, get behind cover, get behind a building, whatever. But if nobody shoots and says, hey, and pings the target, all you got to do is click once and they're all 4 dead. Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like,
So if you have one guy that has that launcher, you could do so much with it.
Yeah. True.
being in a position where you need a sniper and no one on your team has a sniper fucking sucks.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
It's like anytime I'm not sniping, there's always those situations I get into. And I'm like, God, I wish I had a fucking rifle right now because I'm pinned down behind this rock and he has a head glitch. What am I going to do with an FFAR against a head glitch on a guy 150 meters away from me? That's got
Never
an
going on a downtown
M16.
building without a
I'm not
sniper.
going to do shit.
Mhm.
But there's times when you wish you had like an M16 or an AMAX or whatever when you've got a sniper. It's situational. All
Yeah, of
situational.
course. Of course. But sometimes you don't know what circle you're going to get till after you pick up your loadouts.
And that's why I circle back to the MP7 as your secondary when you have a sniper, because then you can beam that motherfucker, at least hit him, lay some shots down. Yeah, it all comes back to the MP7 being viable.
Next, he's going to
Why
say
don't you
an
ever
RPG
use
with
it
an
then, Bang?
MP7.
I haven't seen you use
I
an
use it all the
MP7
time.
in 5 months, dude. This is
I
fake
use it
news.
all the time. It's on my
Fake news.
MP7
my
RPG. That's
Scrub
custom
the
slot
VODs.
10. Custom slot 10.
Scrub the
Custom
VODs.
slot
Bangers
10.
limited season.
MP7
Season
Car 9.
Just
one.
because, hey, I have a fucking smoke grenade loadout. I've never used it. So let's not say it's a custom loadout so that I use it, okay? Scrub the
I
VODs.
used it.
This is fake news.
I used
It's the
it.
one and
Let's
only
play
time
tonight.
I've
I'll
missed
use it.
Tanner. This is fake news, okay? You don't use your MP7. You're lying. You're lying to these,
I'll use it
these
tonight.
good people. Okay, we'll see. We'll
I'll
fucking
use it with
see.
you tonight, Bingo.
On the
Dude, let's
topic
shred with it.
on the topic of team roles in your squad, I think it is good, kind of, but you have to be real careful. Because if you have like designated sniper guy who's using like 2 snipers, not a good idea. Or designated, not that anyone does this, so this is kind of a dumb argument to make, but you just be careful with different team roles in your squad, because no matter what role you are, you have to be competent in every situation to the best of your ability, because oftentimes your shit teammates will die. And if you're the last dude alive and you're using a sniper and a launcher, that's a mistake. And you're probably fucked.
If you're using a sniper and a launcher in the beginning, what are you doing?
Yes.
But anyways,
Of course.
this also only works in like trios and quads. You're not going to have like a designated role in
True.
duos.
True. Another
Duos,
good
you have
point.
you have to cover your close, mid, and long range. So you basically have to like be a strong mid range with your loadout in duos. Maybe have one guy have a sniper. But like if you're playing quads, then you can get away with a guy using a light machine gun and a launcher. That's fine. You can get away with a guy using a MP7 and a sniper. You
Okay.
could get away with a guy using an M16 and a Mac 10, and then FFAR and dumb broken pistols. Like it
Right.
it
That's
really
true.
only works on the mode you're playing.
Yeah, that's worth mentioning. What were you gonna say, El?
I was gonna say I'd so much rather have everyone on our team run a sniper than no one would have the sniper.
True. Also true. Yeah.
A squad of snipers is a pain in the ass to deal with.
Because then you can
When
pretty
you're pinned
reliably
down.
get finishes. Like if you have one sniper, that sniper a lot of times will get a lot of downs and not that many kills. Whereas if you have 4, every down's getting finished unless they're on a rooftop. There's simply no way for some guy crawling in a field to evade 4 snipers trying to thirst him.
You run in a field and you just look up and see 4 glints. You're
Well,
none.
you don't know.
Yeah, no shit.
you don't-
Or none.
True.
But yeah, no. Yeah, I hear you on that. It does depend. And like Bang was I think it was fucking us four. Cam, you were probably asleep. Hashtag UK. But it was us four doing quads, and Bang was using Estrella, and he got like fucking 11 kills, and we won that game. So it was nice having a dedicated launcher guy there, because we got a lot of squad wipes because of that.
And if you have a guy that's dedicated launcher, you have to be really mindful of that, to where you have to try to pick up every rocket you run across. A lot of the time people see a rocket on the ground, they just run right past it. Pick it up, go to every ammo station, pick up their launcher, have them drop it, get them rockets, because if you have enough targets, you're going to run out of rockets real quick. There's been times where I'd fired 30, 40 of them in a single match.
Yeah.
No shit. Like, you gotta drop your munitions boxes, everybody pick up the launcher, and especially with like the current meta to where people can run M16 FFAR, they're using the same ammo type, 2 weapons. You're only gonna get one ammo type when you loot from a munitions box. So get 4 rockets.
Get the 2, yeah.
Fill up, drop them all the time.
True.
It's fun. Use launchers,
like
guys. They're fun.
I feel like with like dedicated
Hashtag UK.
I feel like you can try it, but I don't know. You shouldn't like force people. Like if you're running quads and all of you are running like AR SMG, and then you're trying to say, all right, one of us needs a snipe, who wants to do it? And no one really wants to. It's like you can't force it, because they're not going to be able to.
Nor should you.
If someone's not. That's what I'm saying. It's like you can try it, but it's more just about like running with people who are comfortable with their loadouts and whatnot.
That's true too, and I think that is also worth mentioning, is that you can have team roles in your squad, but there aren't that many roles to fill. In fact, there are 3. There's AR, launcher, and sniper. Like, that's pretty much it. So, and you don't need to hit all those bases. I don't think you even need to hit the launcher role, really, although it can be really helpful.
Not with the stoner barrel.
Not with a cavalry lancer, of course.
Shit.
But I think like in 4s, I wouldn't say you need a sniper, but there will be circles where if you have no snipers, you're probably going to lose because you don't. Like, actually. So I think 1 or 2 people should be sniping for sure in like quads. But if everyone's using ARs and SMGs, that's probably fine. Like, that's probably totally fine. But there might be situations where you're fucked. You're just fucksville. But don't try to get too fancy. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, of course. It's circumstantial. It depends on where the circle is and where enemies are. But the biggest thing, again, I would say is don't be fancy. Don't try to fucking roleplay as SEAL Team 6. Don't try to, like, have all fucking 8 weapon categories in your like, you know, repertoire of loadouts. You're getting way too aggressive. You don't need that. You really don't need that. So just simplicity is good. And like Jake said, the best thing is that everyone is using weapons they're comfortable with.
Yeah, that's number 1.
Of course. For sure.
I don't think you should think about it too much. You should just, you know, go with the flow and use what you want to use, basically. What you feel comfortable with, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
The more you think about it, the more you're going to be like, you know, you might end up fucking yourself over because you're like, well, I need to use this because everyone else is using that. So, you know. Yeah, don't do that, obviously. Go to Ground War and practice if you want to do shit like that. Yeah. All right, let's move on here. Snob had another very omega interesting point here, and I want to talk about this. Group shot callers versus having no group leader. This is a very good question, I think. I feel like it's less relevant when you run with the same people all the time. But when you guys play and you play with like your normal squad, do you normally have someone who kind of like takes control? Or is it just like totally everyone suggests things and you do whatever? And which do you think works better?
Well, it depends if these guys are actually playing Call of Duty and not playing Tarkov all the time.
Well,
It also depends if you're playing Battle
the ding
Royale, not
sound.
multiplayer too.
Usually, I think when we play, there's usually like Jake usually picks the spot. He's always the guy that marks somewhere first. I don't think it's because we've designated him as the guy, but
No one
he
else is
just
part-
well, it's a case of, well, nobody else is marked anywhere, so I'm gonna mark somewhere. It's usually a good spot anyway, regardless. Doesn't matter about where we drop. But we just normally vibe out, and half the time people split off, go do their own thing. There's not really anyone in the squad that's like saying, we need to be here. When we get into the late game, that's when people start, saying, look, we need to rotate this way, we need to be there, we need to get to this position.
Mhm.
I don't think there's anyone that really designates who does what, where we're gonna go, whatever. But when you play with the same people all the time, it just kind of flows.
It kind of comes down to team chemistry too. Like you have to know your teammates and their play style, and like a lot of you guys are very aggressive. You want to push. I'm the more conservative player. I'd rather just position and wait for them because I'm a little bit more patient. And I don't speak up until I hear somebody want to make a decision like we should go do this. And if I really don't agree with it, then I'll pipe up. And it's good to have somebody like that. It's like, no, this probably isn't the best idea. We could probably do this a little bit better. And it's always good to have somebody who's a little bit conservative on your team that's a little bit more cautious. But like you're saying, you can split off as long as you can trust each other and you know what each other are capable of. Because like he can go off on his own, wipe 2-3 teams on his own. I'm fucking nervous the entire time. Like, oh God, I don't have enough money to buy him back. But he will surprise you. People can surprise you if you just let them do their thing, get to know them, get to know your teammates. And it really helps to play with the same people kind of often. Because you're playing with all these different people, you don't know what each other's capable of. You may not make a decision because you don't know if they can, keep up with that. If you know your teammates, know what they're capable of, then it's like, all right, let's go. Okay, this is what you guys want to do. Let's go do it.
Yeah, you'll push one thing with one group of people that you wouldn't push with another group.
Yeah.
And you'll go off on your own with one group of people, and you won't go off on your own with another group, because like if they get pushed, you feel like you have to be there to help if they're like one group, whereas like they'll be fine, like they can do a 3v4. I'm gonna go do my own thing. That's fair too. That makes sense.
See, that's the thing as well, is having someone that's almost kind of level-headed sometimes, because there'll be times where I go to like push a build and I'm like, hang on a minute, wait, the gas is coming in. These guys are going to have to move out. I should not push this.
Mhm.
I should wait for them to move out. It's almost reading the situation as well. It depends who you're playing with. Sometimes you might just full send it. Other times you might think, hang on a minute, I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait, bide my time. These guys are gonna come to me anyway.
There was one time I got so pissed off. It was me, Tanner, Raz, and Grim. And we were at Superstore, and we had a bounty, and the bounty was like at dealership on one side of Superstore. And gas was pushing in, so we'd have to rotate the hotel. And I knew there was one team on top of hotel already. I was like, guys, let's fucking move right now so we don't have to deal with the hotel team with gas on our back. And you guys were just dead centered on that on the fucking bounty team. And I said like 3 times, like, let's get across now.
They were at like Burger, right? Like next to gas station?
No, they were at the dealership. Our bounty was that dealership, and then there was a team on top of hotel.
I think I vaguely remember this, but go on. I'm curious to
And
hear
then,
how
well, you
we
got
all
shit
made
on.
the wrong
You got
mistake,
shit on by
and
the
then
hotel
you
team.
made the correct choice. So I'm joking. Go on. What happened? I forgot.
No,
I
well, you
remember
got shit
because
on.
I was in Superstore parking lot, and I was with Grim and Tanner. I get ripped, even though I'm right next to them. That was fun and exciting. I don't remember what happened after that, though.
I can't remember what I was underneath.
I think you were
them
under
at
hotel already. Yeah. So it would have helped to have a little team captain there for sure. Yeah.
Also,
said-
kind of have like a mental checklist too. Like before you push, look at circle, look at the timer, Are they going to have to move? That's like the first thing you consider. Do they have to move to you? Because if they have to move to you, there's actually no reason to go push them. Because if you do push them, you may be separating from your team. And if the off chance that you do die, then they have to buy you back. You come back, you don't have your perks, you don't have your guns.
And they're in the gas now, so you can't go get them.
Yep. To where if you just posted up, found a good position in the next possible circle, knowing that you're going to gatekeep them from the position you're in, then they're going to be fucked because they're going to have to push directly into you. Gas is on their ass. So you kind of have to have a little bit of a mental checklist before you make decisions too. It's hard to do. It just takes reps, like repetitions. You push something when you shouldn't have. You try to learn from that. Okay, what did I do wrong? I pushed when they had to move out of their building. I could have repositioned this dumb, cheeky angle, played like a rat. Swallow your pride, play like a rat sometimes, get the dub.
Sometimes it's good, even if the gas is coming in and you've got time to push them, because it gives them less time to be prepared. But then sometimes it's not. It's evaluating when's the best time to actually push and when's the best time to hold. I think that's where you become a really good player compared to a sort of chimp-like player. That's the difference there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of like where we haven't talked about the new map at all, but I feel like that's where that's kind of going to kind of come in, is like we're a year plus into this map, and it's like everyone kind of knows the choke points. Like if the circle's moving in here, you kind of know where to be looking for, like where people are going to be funneling in from. So you can kind of branch off and like, all right, we're going to go watch this side. You guys watch that side, see who we can catch coming in. But like when we get a new map, it's like, I'm not going to feel nearly as confident, like pushing out by myself, or like, I don't know where people are going to be, what the choke points are going to be, the hot spots, the funnel points. It's like, it's going to be interesting to see how that works.
I'm excited for that too.
Yeah.
I'm excited for like that month-long kind of period of not really knowing where things are.
Yeah, like I don't know. Should I push this? I don't know. Is there a guy? Can
How
I
many
get peeked
stairs
from this
are on this
angle?
Yeah. How many stairs are in this building?
2 or is it 20?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, the thing is with this new map is it going to be the same circles? Is it going to be the same kind of rotations? Is the area going to be the same, or is it going to be completely different circles and completely different rotations? It's hard to say until we actually see what they're going to put out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because right now it's like there's so many tall buildings in this map that if you just follow the edge of the gas, get up in the closest building to the edge of the gas, and hold people coming in, that's a very viable way to just gatekeep your way to the end game.
Yeah.
Whereas like if they kind of open the map up, make a lot less skyscraper buildings with only one way up, one or two ways up, it's like that could, little things like that to the map could actually change up like the play style of this game a lot.
I agree, and I'm so excited for it because I fucking hate that is a viable strategy.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. There are so many buildings that are 9 stories tall with 2 staircases, and that's it. And if you're in quads, if you're on that roof, it's so easy to defend 2 doors, 2 staircases, and you're also above everyone. And if you have circle, it's literally just a race to who gets up there first, and then you just win. It's really dumb. I'm really excited for a new map, hopefully without such skyscrapers, for sure. Yeah.
The thing is as well, it's not just the skyscrapers themselves, it's where you can rotate to from the skyscrapers. You can jump off and move to other roofs as well. If they're going to bring the buildings down, your rotation options from them high positions is going to change a lot, because you're not going to be able to go from, the biggest building in downtown to, the lower buildings
The
opposite
boneyard.
port.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's going to change. It's going to change your position and options a lot, which is kind of a good thing, because you're going to have less people rotating and just sitting on top of roofs the whole time. Because if you're in downtown, you can spend half of the time you're there on a rooftop.
You could literally go
all of your time.
AFK. You can go
Yeah,
literally
you
AFK.
you can move from rooftop to rooftop, especially if you have a chopper as well. You don't even need to touch the ground.
Yeah.
Go to the corner, swipe on Tinder.
Yeah.
Well, be careful. Don't do that in the grass. Do it on a rooftop for sure. But yeah. Yeah. But anyways, so back to the topic of group shot callers versus having no group leader. I think it depends entirely on who you're playing with and how much you play with them, like you guys talked about. But more often than not, the people I play with, just like the 20 or so that I like play with, there are only a very few people who are confident making any decision. So I feel like I just have to say, like, okay, like, we have to drop somewhere, right? We're in the plane for 60 seconds, and we have to exit the plane and go somewhere. And if no one else is going to say anything, you kind of have to have someone who's going to say, let's at least land together somewhere, anywhere, but pick it. So I feel like you do need someone sort of as like a group leader or like someone who will make decisions. I think you probably need that. I don't think you need to like designate it or formalize it or anything. But you need someone who's going to like give a very rough diagram of what the next play is. And ideally, I would say is that you are comfortable enough with your teammates to where if one person picks somewhere to go and it's not a good spot, then they will tell you and you won't get fucking butthurt about it. Like, hey, let's go here. And then your teammate's like, that we should go here instead. And then it's like, okay. And then you go there and everything's fine and dandy. But someone needs to, you guys have to make a decision and someone has to do it. And then you can all agree or disagree on it. But there does kind of sort of have to be like a group leader. Change it. Don't. That sounds so campy. But, someone, you guys have to make decisions, obviously.
Someone's got to be plugged in.
Someone's got to plug the fuck in. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Then you got to have that conservative player, too, that's going to say, no, we shouldn't do that. But then also, if everybody's trying to make those decisions, you're also got competing egos, and then you don't have a team. You have 4 individuals playing on the same team. You don't actually have a unit. Gotta kind of let somebody take that role. If somebody starts making decisions, kind of go with it. But like we talked about earlier, you got to trust them too. But then if somebody disagrees, listen to them, because maybe they're not confident pushing into that fight. And if you force them into that fight, they might just die.
Right. Yeah.
See, that's the thing as well, is if I'm left to pick the destination, 99% of the time, I'm going to pick Superstore. And not everyone is comfortable going Superstore every single time, which is why I don't always pick.
I'm everyone.
And I let other people... so I let other people pick, because if you leave it down to me, we're going Superstore. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, that's fair. And that's kind of a nice thing to do, because, you don't know... You don't necessarily know if everyone is going to be. I like going to Superstore.
I know all the spots. I know all the little angles and whatever. It's where I'm most comfortable. But I'm down to go wherever anyone wants to go. But if you leave it up to me, that's where we're going.
To kind of build off of Cam's point too, you should designate 4 to 5 different spots throughout the map that you drop often. Because you have to kind of learn to get a rhythm going to certain areas. Like, okay, you go here, you start looting this way. You can then eventually you drop these spots enough, you learn to expect where teams are going to push from.
Yep.
You know when the fight's about to happen. So let's say we go to Jake's spot in Boneyard, right up by where the buy typically is on the north side of it.
Yep.
We know that when we push into Boneyard, that there's probably going to be a team coming from those blue warehouses that are closer to Superstore. There's probably going to be a team pushing from there. And there's also probably a team deeper in Boneyard.
Yep.
That landed to loot. So sometimes you can go in with that knowledge, stay on top of the buildings by where you landed, and wait for one of those teams to push in, kill them, and then push out because you already know that pattern. It's like pattern recognition. Teams always come from here. Teams always come from here. And you play off of that and you get a rhythm going.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Yeah.
the thing is, yeah, if they turn around and they mark farmland or prison, I'm going to say, are you serious? Like, do you want to land somewhere, not see anyone for 45 minutes, and then die when we first see him?
I used to like farmland, but it's awful. There's nothing there.
You don't see anyone for ages, and then when you run into a team after you spent 45 minutes looting, you die instantly, and it's like, what did I the reason why I love Super is because you get in the action straight away. You might die off the rip, you might end up walking out of there with 10 kills.
Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
you know, either way, you're gonna have a good time or you're gonna have a bad time, but at least you know you're gonna get into the next game sooner than you would have if you were in farmland, because you spend half an hour looting and die anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I see what you're saying.
Lumber is like my new favorite spot.
Lumber is so
okay.
good. When that buy
Lumber's like
station is there,
There's always at least 1 to 2 teams there.
Lumber's my place to go after the gulag. That's my after gulag spot.
Stadium's the new reset spot for me.
Yeah.
really?
I've been going to stadium a
Yeah.
lot too.
They fucked up stadium though by taking all the orange crates out.
Yeah, it does kind of suck after that. I forgot about that. But if it's not looted, you can get a lot of money there, and it's usually, I mean, more often than not, it seems like it's not very
I
looted.
feel like getting out of Superstore once you are looted would be tough, though. A little toughy.
But
If
it's a
there's that
guarantee.
buy out like right outside Super or the buy gas, you're fine.
I
Interesting.
feel like I get
It
hell.
becomes tricky when you have to go to like hotel or even police. Sometimes you might run into a team at police, but
Oh,
if you
dude,
can get the load out quick and chuck it inside police, then you should be all good.
I never go.
If
Super
you
without
have to
a buy.
go
Each
from
straight
super
away.
to police, you will die. I've never done that successfully. There's always someone either in police or to the building to the left. If you're coming from
Yeah.
super, facing police,
Crown Wall
that
building.
building to the left that is 80 stories tall, there's always 4 rats minimum on top of
Oh,
that.
the other.
Maybe 2 teams camping together. That's certainly what it feels like. And then also a team in police station. I've never, ever done that cross. The easier one for me is to go to the little fucking neighborhood. I feel like it's pretty survivable there. Because there's like that little short wall. It's not very far. And then there's some big rocks too.
By the hotel?
No. The little, I don't know. What is it? It's like a...
To be fair, the buses isn't too bad either.
So you know where
if
the
you go
bank
straight,
is?
go straight north.
Yeah.
So in between the bank and stadium, there's like the dumb little neighborhood.
Neighborhood, yeah. Neighborhood where blue and
Towers are?
Where blue
little,
and it's
the
between
restaurant is in the middle.
yeah, there's blue, big, red, and bank. And then if you go closer to stadium, there's the little
LB, You're
neighborhood.
talking about super.
Yeah. I thought we were talking about Super. My bad.
But that's quite a long trek.
Yeah.
from Super.
Plug in, L.
If you happen to go that far for a buy from Super, I'm not even landing at Super.
Well, we were talking about stadium.
Stadium. What?
So cool. These boys are wireless right now. They are absolutely not plugged in. So, anyways,
Well,
Not
don't
plugged in.
drop Stadium. That's the one thing.
that
Stadium's
was the
just not
regame
it
spot.
anymore.
That was the contention.
If
Don't drop Stadium.
Cool.
Stadium's okay if it hasn't been looted. If it's been looted, then you're fucked, basically.
Yeah.
Wherever
That's
they're
why I'm excited for
that's
this new
my
map, because it's just no one's gonna know where to go. What the like? Obviously, it won't take too long, but it's like,
It depends what the POIs are.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
just
they were
mean
going
as
to be
far
the
as, like,
same, but
People pick and drop spots. It's like, okay, is there a buy there? That's the first thing on the checklist. Is there a buy there? Okay, how far is it from circle? Is it on the edge? Is it way far? We're gonna have to get in a vehicle right away and get to the circle. It's like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the rotations are gonna be shifted with this new map. Hopefully, at least. I don't know.
I agree.
I'll keep
We're sussing out
expecting
as
it to
well.
be a fairly big map change. So it's like, I don't know. I'm hoping for a lot.
Because Superstore's a fairly modern thing. Is it going to be even in the next map?
maybe it's
Right.
like
You know what I
the
mean?
bazaar. the flea market.
Well, yeah, and it might not be what it is now.
Dollar Tree.
To be honest, the reason Superstore is what it is because of the big streamers that drop there all the time. That is why Superstore is so hot, and that is why people go there. If Superstore wasn't, you know, Nick Merckx and Swag Spot or whatever, people wouldn't go there as much.
Maybe
because
not quite as much, but there's a fuck ton of loot there.
The loot density.
People
But the
would
reason
figure it
why
out.
people know what it is because of the big streamers that drop there, and it's like
Everyone in our lobbies would have
Fortnite.
known regardless. I think for the average player, that's probably true. But the fucking sweat nerds like you and me and everyone here, we would know.
But
Just
it's
like we
like
know
on
Train
Fortnite.
Station is a lot of loot, even though it's like underrated. You know?
it's like on Fortnite, everyone used to go Tilted Towers because that was the spot that all the top guys dropped. Do you know what I mean? It's the thing is the thing I find with Superstore is where the best players in the lobbies go, so you can wipe the best players first or die to the best players first, and then you know, all right, them guys are not the guys. We don't want to run into them again. Let's go far away from them, regain. You know,
Makes sense.
yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, for sure. There's some logic to it. Definitely. Let's see here. I think we already talked about when to take a fight versus when to avoid it. So let's what go ahead, Ben? What?
Not really, because well, maybe I have a point on it. Like, let's say final circle's closing and there's, I don't know, 10 teams left, maybe less, and you pop a UAV and you see 3-4 teams in close proximity. It's not a good idea to push it. You should position. When you see that many teams that close together, you should find the best position for when that fight's done, that you're going to kill the winner in that fight. It's pretty common to see people see all those red dots and just get greedy and want to get those kills. But more often than not, you're going to engage in that fight. You're not going to have the cover you need because there's so many different angles that you could potentially be flanked from, shot from, to where if you just found the next best position, you're the guy that's going to win that fight, because those guys are all tapped out of resources, ammo, plates. They're still trying to heal up. I guess it's kind of circumstantial too, but I don't think you should really push into huge team fights. When there's a lot of teams all at once, you should position just outside of it. Get the proper third party without being noticed. Let them engage each other and then maybe start picking them off. But don't get too invested into it, because then you're drawing attention to yourself. You don't want to be the team that everybody's focusing on.
I mean, if you've got UAVs and all of them are not ghosted and you know they haven't got loadout, and push it into, like, say you've landed hangars, you've grabbed your loadout, you've got UAVs, and you're pushing into super, and everyone's in there still fighting. They haven't got loadout. You know they haven't got UAV. You're a massive advantage already, because you know where everyone's at. You've got your loadout. You're just going to go in there and shred everyone.
That's very early game, though.
Yeah.
Early game is the best time for full sending everyone.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah.
If you have loadout,
Once the
especially.
circles start shrinking, it's a lot closer for people to peek one angle and one burst you with an AUG while you're shooting another team. It's like you have to pick your fight so much more in the end game.
To go along with that, trigger control is just a huge one too. So if you're in the middle of some hills and you see some guys somewhere that have buildings downtown or farmland or something, wait until you get into a way better position to take that fight. Don't just shoot at the first person you see.
True.
Yep.
Guilty.
Very true.
Especially if you're not confident you can like get the kill. If you just think you like, I might be able to land a couple bullets, don't risk it.
Yep.
If you know 100% you could get the down, different story, but kind of play off the feels.
Yeah, because you'll pull up around a corner and you'll see a guy in the wide open. You're like, oh, this guy's done for. Fry him real quick. It's worth it in that case to just get that kill, get it out of the way, and that team's down a guy. And then if they do end up buying back, you'll see it. So it's like, if it's easy enough to get the kill, obviously get it. But yeah, if you're not confident, don't give your position away just to land 2 bullets and that guy know where you are now.
Yeah, for sure. That's something TGD was saying when we had him on. He was talking about multiplayer, but it applies to Warzone too.
Yeah.
Instead of like if he's like near their spawn, instead of just shooting the first guy he sees, he lets like 5 run past, and then they're wide open, and he just mows the ball down. Yep. That does apply. That's even more important in Warzone, actually. Is like, let him get, if they're running from like one rock to another, let them get fucking equidistant from both of them before you start shooting. So you have the maximum chance of just ripping the fuck out of them.
Yep.
That's true. That's true. Knowing when to take fights versus when not to, it actually used to be harder than I feel like it is now for me. Because, like Jake, you were saying earlier, I know all the buildings now.
Yep.
Like, if I down you in the second story of, like, this building, I know I can come finish the fuck out of you, no problem. Because there's 8 windows, 3 staircases I can get in, and I can also rappel from the roof. Whereas there are other buildings where it's like, if I rip you in the second story of this building, there's no chance on God's green earth I'm gonna get close to you to finish, because I will die coming up the one staircase to the people with akimbo, stopping powers, Psychov pistols, and rowskins who are not visible on my screen. So that's another thing too. It's like, it's actually pretty much for me, it's like, can you get the down? Obviously, number 1. And then number 2 is like, is there any chance you get the finish here? And that, more often than not, comes down to what type of building are they in?
Mm-hmm.
And,
yeah, usually.
And this is like when I'm sniping and there's a team on top of Trump, the guy might be fucking mounted with an HDR, and I know I can down him. But it simply doesn't matter. And I don't want to invoke the ire of 4 camping rats on top Trump with HDRs for no good reason. So
right,
I'm simply
just a waste of a bullet.
Exactly. I never, ever, ever shoot someone who's on top of Trump. Ever. Never. There's never a reason to do it. Probably very, very few, but virtually never.
Only if you have an airstrike.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Basically.
Literally the only time.
Basically, actually, yeah. So it's like, that's how I kind of think of fights now in Warzone, is like, what kind of building are they in? Can I get this finish? And, and I kind of go from there.
It's probably one of the toughest pushes, that building.
Oh, it's impossible.
Because of the way the stairs are laid out as well, it's actually quite easy for them to shoot down on when you're coming up the stairs.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because just the width and everything, they can see you. Yeah. So clearly, right away. If you get on like the first step and they're a floor above you, they can already see you.
See, I was actually fighting. There was maybe 2 teams in the building with us at the same time, and I'm shooting someone on the stairs. Someone actually jumps down, parachutes down the stairs, right into my face, and just guns me down with the pistols.
But
I'm just like, what can I do? I'm already like weak because I've just been fighting some other guy on the stairs, but he's just parachuted down through the stairs. It's not a fun building to fight in.
It's impossible.
But it's so satisfying. Impossible. It's so satisfying when you kill them when they're up there, though. You feel like you've accomplished something. You
have
exterminated a bunch of rats.
11-year-olds in a video game, if that's what happened. Because there's no way those are adults that you killed. If they're camping and they lose that, they have to be children. Like, actually, it's impossible not to hold that building. It's so simple. 1 staircase and 1 rappel point. Like, holy fuck. So easy.
Usually where I get them is I'll draw them into the room just below where the
room, they get greedy. Yep.
Yeah, and you hit the little the head glitch on the desks inside that room. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's where you get them if they're brave enough to come down there.
Yeah, that's true. I have seen streamers do that. Like if they'll run up the stairs instead of rappelling. either exterior or interior. They'll do neither. They'll just run up the stairs, hope that they can get to that building, and then just bait them. And it's like all you need really is one guy, kill him, and now it's like you have the odds, but they have the advantage, and then it's it's a whole thing.
If you kill one of them, they'll want to come and get you. So you just got to try and draw them in.
Yeah.
If they're
yeah, because the guy who's dead is like, oh, he's weak, he's one shot, dude. They're all one shot. Meanwhile, you guys are fully plated, haven't taken any damage, and you just kill the rest of them. Yeah, true. True. Why solos is good? Asks Jaren. Does anyone here think solos is good?
Solos is actually kind of fun.
That's the first question.
It's very chilled. You can sort of relax and vibe out a bit more. Yeah, I think it's quite chill.
Let me tell you the last time I played solos, because I had the exact opposite experience. Okay, I played solos. I played, I think, 4 matches. I played 3 to 5 matches. So whatever. First 3, the genre of game ceases to be first-person shooter and it becomes a horror game, like Friday Night at Freddy's or whatever the fuck it is. Terrifying, awful experience. My heart rate is just jacked for an hour and a half the entire time. On the last game that I'm on, I win the game, and as I'm going up the helicopter, and I see Dropshot Razinon live every Wednesday and Saturday, just fucking rappelling into the chopper, I'm exhausted, and I think to myself, I swear to God I thought this, I was like, that wasn't fun. I'm simply exhausted. I'm tired. You have to be so plugged in solos with how many people camp that you have to just be 100% super focused like you're taking a fucking LSAT. And I'm just not here for it. So I don't know what game we thought we were talking about here, but when you tell me solos is chill, I'm just a little confused.
Well, because you can just sit in a corner and pull up a YouTube video and watch something else.
Perhaps. That's what I did, and I was still terrified, though. Why was your guys' experience different?
All your friends abandon you, and they go play Tarkov, and they say, fuck you. This is what you get to play solos, and you learn to have fun with it. Land hot.
Fun until it's not.
This is my biggest have a different opinion, and his playstyle is different, which works for him. My go-to, land super, get loadout, get a Bertha. Don't push dumb buildings where you know people might be camping. Just pop UAVs, go to where you know people are, get bounties, and just drive. I'm always just like pushing someone in solos. It's not boring for me because I have my Bertha. Yeah. I'm always just going.
That's it. And I think it's easy as well because you're only fighting one person at a time usually.
Well, Bango plays different, which is fine.
You're
but
fighting some person, but then someone else is fighting you, and you don't know about it. Then you get shot in the back.
Positioning within circles really, really important. I personally don't think you want to be smack dab in the middle of the circle. I really think when you're playing solos, you want to, I think it's Iceman Isaac came up with a term for it, pinwheeling, where you're just rotating, you're constantly rotating in a circle. You're always, you're always going in a circle. Like, so you're going to go to the thin side between the gas and the next circle that you have to go to. And if you're rotating around, you're going to catch people moving in. And if you constantly rotate, you're covering a lot of ground. You do face the possibility of being gate kept, but if you rotate, you can always backtrack, and you know that area is relatively clear because you've already cleared it out. You've already taken control of it.
Yeah, which makes sense.
You don't want to push straight into circle because then you're leaving all these unknowns all around you, and because there could be a rat in every single building, there could be a rat behind every tree, every rock. But if you're rotating to the edge, you can take control of a side of the circle. And that's what you have to kind of focus on, is controlling an area. You don't necessarily have to move like you do in quads. You know, you go from this team to this team to this team to this team. I think it's best to find a good position, not necessarily a building, but like a region, and patrol it. Because people are always going to be moving in, especially if there's buy zones. Like, bounce between like 2-3 different buy zones and just rotate around between those. You're always going to find people, but then you control that area. You don't have a whole lot to worry about. To where if you're moving from this spot to this spot, you don't know where people are. You don't know where the recent fights were. You don't know who won that fight and what their position is. But if you control an area, you own that thing.
I still don't think, even no matter what game mode you're playing, I still don't think you should run in a straight line zone. I think you should always rotate round, because you run in a straight line to the zone, you've got people coming in from either side. If you're rotating in a round the circle motion, then chances are you've more likely got people coming in from your left or your right side, depending on what way you're going around the circle. Whereas if you're going straight in, chances are you're going to have people coming from both sides.
Yeah, you're
And
gonna
there
get
could be people
Yeah,
farther behind you that you didn't know about too.
Exactly.
You don't
So-
want to stay right on gas though, because then you're gonna get gate kept. There's
Oh,
always that one guy. You kind of want to get ahead of it. You want to get to the thin edge, is what I've always called it, like the thinnest side between gas and the next circle.
Where gas travels the most slowly. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. You
Right.
want to control that area the
Yeah.
best you possibly can.
Even if you are like pushing towards someone that you've got on UAV, you still, I still think you should rotate in that direction, but you use that direction, but work your way towards them. So you could be rotating, but moving in the zone at the same time as well, but just not driving in a straight line into the zone. I think that's always a bad idea. Just going that route.
When you do that, if shit is just too hot, it hits the fan and it's not going to be as safe to push in there. You can always backtrack. You can always go backwards because you've already
you just keep rotating out of that and rotate to the next spot. Do you know what I mean? It's
If possible.
if possible. Obviously.
I think it's really satisfying to win a solo match too, because I think I talked about it on the last roundtable, is if you look at it from the perspective of you outplayed each and every single opponent, you literally outplayed 149 other people.
Yeah.
To
But
win
then-
solos, like you were saying, Raz, you're shaking. You're like, oh my God, this is just so
Oh.
intense. I'm exhausted. That's the best part of it.
That's
To be in the
crazy.
last
That's what I
man.
think is
I
fun.
hated it.
That's what I think is fun.
I was, dude, the adrenaline
You have to stand up
dump,
and walk away for a little bit.
my heart rate actually just fucking peaking, dude. I had to get fucking beta blockers after this session of Warzone. My heart was just fucking the whole time, dude, zooming. You never get more scared, dude. I hate. It makes me so uncomfortable. I don't like it, dude.
Well,
For someone who grew up playing sports, I live for that feeling. That is the best feeling I could have.
No, there's nothing
Adrenaline
better than
high,
clutching up, though, at the end of like a quads game or whatever during the last guy left on your team. There's nothing better than clutching up there. Solos is an adrenaline rush, yeah. But if you're the last man left on your team and you're playing trios or quads, there's nothing better than clutching up there.
Like Bango's throwing knife 1D to win us a quads match when we were all dead. That was unrecorded.
There's nothing to beat that.
That's
You
true.
can't
That's
beat
a
that.
great point. That's a great point. When you just win it for the boys. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you've got all of them
Let's
gassing
fucking
you up, and
go!
it's like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
it's really
There's
gratifying.
no one
though.
there to gas you up when you're like the solo, and it's like, yay, I won.
Yeah.
But like
Chat.
in solos, decision making is so important because there's so many ways you could just put yourself in a bad position, and there's more decisions you have to make because it's not like you're making a decision to push a team of 4. You're making a decision to fight one person that could just cheese you. And then you have to do it over and over and over and over
That's
and over.
yes, exactly. This is another thing, another way I conceptualize solos or every game mode is like quads. It's you and 39 other teams. Duos, you and 75 other teams. Trios, you and I can't do math other teams. Solos, you and 149 other teams. So like even though it's the same number of people on the map, it's not the same number of enemy factions or enemy teams. Even though it's the same number of enemy players or virtually minus 3, 2, or 1. It's not, it doesn't really function that way That's another thing that's rough about solos is like there's not going to be 2 teams of 4 in the same building if you're playing quads. But there could be 2 other teams of solos in the same building that you're trying to get into if you're playing solos. There could be 3. And it's like, that's different and it's more difficult, I think.
Difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's ghosted with Psychops. Don't know where anyone is.
That too. That is probably even worse right now. Yeah. What's the loadout for solos? Is it basically the same loadout you would use in 3s? Or is it different? Are snipers better in solos? Are they worse in solos? Are they the same in solos?
I'm always sniping in solos.
Absolutely better in
I
solos.
quite often sniping solos, but
There's always the rooftop
Equipment
guys you
changes.
pick off.
Yes.
so whereas in like duos, trios, quads, I'll run. More recently, I've been running a thrower knife. Whereas if I'm playing solos, I'm gonna put a nade on. I'm gonna put a Semtex on because a throwing knife, you're not gonna get as much use out of it. Because what's the point of throwing knife in one guy that you know's got self res, but he's the only guy there?
Right.
That defeats the purpose of the throwing knife. The throwing knife's there to get the full kill, so you don't have to waste ammo that you can use on the next guy.
Yep. Yeah. You don't have to worry about teammates resing. I think that's why sniping is, I agree with you guys, way better in solos than every other game mode. Because a lot of people won't have self-res, so if you welcome him to Dink City, he's just out of the game.
Well,
Just
you know,
see
he's
ya.
got self-res, because if he goes down, he's got self.
And if he's down,
He
you are
doesn't have-
100% sure he has self. Yeah. Yeah.
Knowledge.
Yep.
Gained.
You know, like, I think the other day I was playing a solos and I downed one guy, but there was another guy on the hotel opposite Super above me. And I was like, right, I can't push to get the full kill on this guy. I just had to leave him and rotate out of there. I never got the kill for him, but I knew he had self, but he obviously had to burn his self. And I probably saw him again later on in the game. But because there was another guy above me, I couldn't push and get the full kill. Whereas normally, if there's no one else around, you're just pushing that to make sure you get that kill.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're hoping he doesn't get rezzed. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Exactly.
Kind of back to decision making. Like the decisions are so important. There's so many times when I'm playing solos, I'll see somebody, I'll down them. They might have self. Like Cam said, you got to let them go. It's like you kind of have to put yourself in the mentality that you're going to kill them later. Just because you didn't kill them now doesn't mean you're not going to kill them later. Make the decision, get a better position than they have, secure another area. Like you could down somebody, shoot at some people. Maybe you're not killing them. Turn your attention elsewhere because somebody's probably creeping up on you.
Yep.
Maybe focus your attention elsewhere. Make the mental note in your head. Okay, there's a guy in this position. Circles here. He's going to have to move basically here. This is where he's going to end up going. So where am I going to go to cut him off? I'm going to go here on this spot. But to get there, I have to clear out this area. I have to make sure I'm safe from this side. And that's where playing the edge and kind of pinwheeling really comes in handy. It's because if you've got control of a side, you only really have to focus your attention 1 or 2 directions and not so much 360 degrees around you. So it really comes down to decision making and picking and choosing your fights wisely. You don't always have to kill every person you see. Sometimes you can let them go and just say, okay, I'm going to kill them later. They're pushing up. I know where they're at. You can kind of follow people too. As long as they don't know where you're at, you can really fucking cheese people.
Yes.
See, that happens in like duos, trios, and quads and stuff. Say you'll be fighting a team, you'll kill 2 or 3 of them or whatever. One of them will get away. You'll move away. You go to a buy. You'll pop a UAV. You'll see that guy on the UAV. You'll see one, but you'll see another team of 4. Majority of the time, I'll just leave that one guy. I'll be like, you know what? You can go regain, get your teammates back. We'll see you again later on in the game, and we'll go and fight this team of 4, get the 4 kills, and then maybe come back for these other guys. There's no point going and chasing the 1 guy or 2 guys you see on the UAV when you can see 10 of the guys that direction. Do you know what I mean? There's just no point.
And that also reminds me, another thing that everyone should try to do if you're newer or not doing as well as you want to. And this is a trap for people who like really want to increase their KD in Warzone, is they want to immediately get the full kill when they get a down Stop doing that. I know you want that one kill to add to your fucking whatever total kills in Warzone to increase your KD, but you're often gonna die doing that because you're wasting your mag on someone who can't shoot back and his teammates fucking your ass from behind. Don't thirst people right away unless you know you can, and turn your attention elsewhere. And we've talked about this before too, is like, this is hard to do. It's very hard to do because you just want the fucking kill. You want it in you, you know? You want the number on your screen. But it'll get you killed a lot. Just getting that thirst right away. I have died dozens, maybe hundreds of times doing this, actually. Down someone, keep shooting him while you're getting shot, and then you start getting shot and you're like, well, I'm going to die anyway. Might as well get the finish because you're dumb. That's me. I'm you. But what you should do is get the down and immediately, like, get to cover, snap onto the next guy, play smart, and then in the long run, you'll have way more kills than if you just are thirsting everything possible. That's hard to do, and that's something I think a lot of people can take note of. So,
if you want to do that though, run throwing knives. Run throwing knives. If you want to full kill people and you want to get as many kills as possible, and that's what you're trying to do there, and just run a throwing knife. You sacrifice a nade, yeah, but you can instantly get that full kill and you move away and potentially stay alive, but you still get that full kill.
Still have the ammo left in your mag.
Exactly. So you can fight the next guy. It's so quick to just throw a knife someone. You get onto the next guy. It's so easy.
Yeah. That's
I really think like a threshold of like skill level that like that's such a high kind of technique to do.
The point at which that's worth it.
That.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, I feel like most of the time is actually not worth doing that.
It depends
honestly.
If it benefits your play style.
That exactly. Because like if you're like sniping, you're not going to get any throwing knife finishes. You
got to find out whether it's worth it. You sacrificing a nade or a Semtex
thermite.
Or a thermite, whatever, for a throwing knife. But do you know what? It's so satisfying just throwing that
It is fun.
I use the one that sounds like a dentist drill, and you throw it at them, and it's like
phlebotomist. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so satisfying. Just oh my god, man.
Just like,
I love it. I love it. It's so fun.
If you're in the shits, you're like all plates are gone. You're only like half base health left. And you run through a doorway, you throw a thermite at the doorway, just that aerial denial is going to save your life right there.
Yes.
Like,
thermite's way better.
So many circumstances where either a Semtex or a thermite could save your life.
Yeah.
True. Lethals, for the most part, are more utility than weaponry.
Lethality.
Actually true. Such a good point. Actually true.
Lethal is the throwing knife, in my opinion. Because you can instantly either do 200 damage to him and leave him with 50 health, or you can just get the quick thirst. Like you guys said, area denial, that's the Semtex beeping in the area. That's the fucking grenade icon. That's the thermite. That's the Molotov. C4, people don't typically run that much anymore. But the throwing knife is very lethal.
True.
Even if you say you run out of ammo as well, and you have the guy fairly weak, if they're 200 health under, throwing knife will down them instantly.
Yep. Yeah, it's not.
I mean,
terrible.
it's all to fit your play style. But man, I've been using them for the past couple of months, and I can't justify using something else in duos, trios, or quads because it's an instant kill. I love it. I love using them.
I don't think they're bad. I just think they're way more situational. They're very specific.
Of course. I only use them when I'm playing duos, trios, or quads, and it's usually because I'm fighting multiple people at one time. So I'm like, look, I want to get this. I get the down, instantly kill them. They're done. I don't need to worry about them again.
Yeah.
I don't need to worry about them self-resing. I don't need to worry about them getting res by their teammate. I can concentrate on the rest of the team, and it, even if you die to the other teammates, you've got a couple of kills on the guys, and you know that team's weak up for your team, for your boys to come in and deal with the rest of them. Do you know what I mean? But as well, I like to go off and split on my own. So that the amount of times that I've died from people self-resing is, it wouldn't have happened if I was using a throwing knife and I just full killed them. Do you know what? Actually, there was maybe a few days ago, I was playing and I threw a throwing knife at someone. I missed him. Yeah. Completely missed the guy. I left him. He didn't self-res for, you know, maybe 10, 15 seconds. He then self-reses when I'm shooting his teammates and kills me. But if I had hit that throwing knife, he'd have been dead and I wouldn't have had to worry about him. But he waited for ages and ages and ages and then self-res.
Outplayed.
Yeah, smart play on his part.
Yeah.
But that's why sometimes, if there's an enemy in front of you, don't start self-resing, because they'll look at you and they'll be like, "Oh, let me full kill this guy."
That's a good point.
Wait for him to get out of sight and then start self-resing. Never self-res when the enemy's right in front of you, because they're always going to full kill you then.
Yeah, true. Great little tip there. So, all right, boys, that's gonna wrap this bitch up. Any closing thoughts from anyone?
Warzone right now, why have they added these stupid radioactive areas that now turn people into zombies? Why have they done that? Why? Because now you've got people doing the zombie strat where they get one of their teammates that goes into this reactive area, becomes a zombie, and then they've got a permanent UAV and they just mark you wherever you are. That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Why have they done that? It should be a limited time mode. It should be an optional thing. Why are we having to deal with people running around as zombies, letting their teammates know, yo, there's a guy there, there's a guy here? Because I'm pretty sure as well, even if you're ghosted, these zombies can see where you're at.
Yeah, I don't know how it works, but it doesn't look fun and exciting for sure.
It's so dumb. It's just the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It's like, you know when they had that Halloween limited time mode? It's like that, but you can't opt out of it.
Yeah,
you can't opt out of it. I just want to play normal BR. Why do I want to go? I want to go to hospital, but I can't because I'm dying to this fucking
Are they always
reactive
in the
shit.
same spots?
Yeah, so there's one at prison, the shipwreck, and hospital. Everywhere the zombies. So soon
okay.
it'll be in Superstore, and then I won't be able to go to Superstore anymore, which is not what I want.
Exciting. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Nice change of pace. Like, take the zombies out. The zombies suck.
They're just dumb.
The radiated areas are kind of cool because it forces you to position differently. Like, oh shit, the circle's coming, but we can't go that way. We have to move sooner because we have to get around this dumb fucking hospital that we can't cut through. It changes things up, and I think if they did have the zombies, it'd be a welcome change because they should have done something like this a while ago.
That's a good point.
I was watching the stream, and the final circle was hospital. So basically, whoever controls the buy wins the game because you can just buy gas masks.
Yeah, gas masks shouldn't work.
But they do.
Radiation. Yeah, I know. I've seen some streams.
It's so dumb. Like, how can the final circle be in a radioactive area that basically the team that has control of the buy wins the game? It's just the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like, who even comes up with these ideas? It's the same guy that come up with the subway system. It's the same guy that come up with, let's drop extra self-res. Let's drop extra stopping power. Let's drop extra deady. Like, this guy needs to lose his job. He needs to be homeless.
Oh, couldn't agree more.
What are you doing? Like, what are you doing, man? Like, your job is to improve a video game, but yet you make it worse.
Yeah.
Like, this game has so many issues with it already. You just add more.
What were you gonna say, Jake? I
saw rumors that there's going to be, with season 3, they're going to add the zombie thing as a field upgrade. Like, for, I don't know if the rumor was real. No. I don't know how credible the rumor was or whatever. I just saw.
Was it from?
If they add that, I'm going to stop playing Tarkov.
It was from I hadn't heard many rumors from him before.
That would be shit.
You basically they made it
I'm
seem
going
like
back to Fortnite.
it's a field upgrade you find. You can pop it, and you're turned into a zombie for however long, 60 seconds or something.
Instead of dead silence, you just fucking pop it.
Pop zombie. All right, I'm gonna jump to the top of the
See ya.
stadium. I'll let you guys know.
It's so dumb because
That's
they
so
move. They
toxic.
move so fast as well. You
Yeah,
try to
they're
shoot
so
them,
busted. I
you
know.
hit a couple of shots on them, and they're gone. It's like, all right, well,
Yeah,
but they
that's
can mark.
really
They
dumb.
they just mark where you're at and let their teammates know. Fair enough, yeah. That if the zombie's the last man standing on the team, everyone else dies. But it's just so annoying. It's just like why? I don't understand why. It's a BR. Keep it as a traditional BR. You added loadouts. You added stupid shit like stopping power and deady. Why do you need to go and add some other dumb shit? Come
True.
on now. Like,
Open this.
are you just trying to piss off the player base? Because that's all it's doing. There's no one in this game thinks, you know what, this is such a good addition to the game. Let's keep it. You know, I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah,
because
just like you said, it should be something you should be able to opt out of. That's the
Yeah.
thing that's
like
dumb
before with
about it. Yeah,
the
with
zombie
Halloween
the
thing,
zombie
there's an
mode.
else-
It was a
uh,
limited time mode. You
and
could
it was
play
its
it
own
if you wanted
thing.
to play it.
Yeah,
Why I don't want zombies in my fucking BR.
I've seen
If
so
I wanted
many
to play
streamers-
zombies, I would be on fucking cold.
yeah. What else?
I've seen so many streamers only run Rebirth Island just because how shit Verdansk is right now.
Oh, there's none of
Yeah,
those are on Rebirth.
seen that
I would
a lot.
assume.
Either rebirth shit, but
Mhm.
Interesting.
There's no fucking radiation.
Very interesting.
well, yeah. There's no radiation. There's no zombies. Probably half the amount of stopping power and deady.
Or double, knowing Activision.
Yeah. Hey, well, you spawn in with a fucking self res, so
Yeah, basically, actually. All right, boys, we're gonna wrap there. Let's all say our goodbyes. Of course, thank you all for being here once again. Now, like I said, you guys are safe. Everyone else in the chat, you guys know who you are. You know who you are. You're banned.
Coke Cowboy.
You're banned. I'm gonna kick you from the group right now. But
Lag.
before I do that, let's say our goodbyes, and we'll go in reverse order. Cam, where can people find you?
Twitch.tv/Cam Wilkes. Find all my socials on there. Yeah, that's basically it.
Sounds good, dude.
Should be able to find everything there. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks for being here, Cammy boy. Much appreciated. Bang, where
Appreciate
can
you
the
having
people find you? Of course, dude.
I'm also on Twitch, twitch.tv/McBango. Links for my socials there. Stop by for some sniping streams.
A lot of sniping streams, a lot of unconventional weaponry. You know what there isn't a lot of though? MP7 use. So scrub the
Let's
VODs.
play now. Let's play.
We're
tonight.
gonna play right now, bitch. We're gonna play right now. I want to see you using an MP7, and I want to see L using an M13 and an MP7. We'll
Bet.
see. We will see how long this experiment
Bet.
lasts. Okay, we'll see how
One
long.
game.
But anyways, thank you for being here, Bang. Jacob, where can the people find you?
You can catch me on Twitch at Jake Down. Yeah, Jake Down. That's my name. playing,
Cool.
playing a shitload of Tarkov lately. I'm gonna jump back into Warzone once they update it.
Yeah,
I'm
once
hopefully
the,
soon.
looking forward to it.
yeah, next map, I'm gonna be real excited about Warzone. Hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully. Watch, there's no new map, and it's just a regular season 3.
Oh.
I'm gonna have friends
I will
after.
cry. I will cry if they do that.
I would.
You
I
better pray to
somehow
Raven
wouldn't be
Software,
surprised.
L.
Actually, yeah. So, L,
Keep them
thank
in
you
your
for being here,
prayers.
buddy. Where can the people find you?
Just twitch.tv, L2K Greatness. All my socials are there. Tune in shortly to watch me wreck with the M13 MP7.
Well, stay on this broadcast. Don't poach my viewers, L, you son of a bitch. I'm so kind to you guys, and this is the treatment I get. Just unacceptable. All
Well,
right,
once you
boys.
die, you can watch me off your screen.
Oh, okay, we'll keep that in mind. All right, boys. Yeah, I'm gonna play some Warzone after this. So if you guys want to run, stay in here. And if not, then have a good night, I guess. But I need to go. I'm gonna mute all of you for like 5 minutes. I'm gonna take a piss. I'm gonna thank the good people, and then sign off, and then we'll get started.
All right.
Cool. Of
Thank you, good people.
course.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Get muted. Okay. What's up, boys? We're back. So, that is the show. I'm going to end the recording here shortly. But I, of course, do appreciate you guys for being here this evening. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you had a good time. It was an interesting, fun, and exciting Warzone Roundtable. As I said at the outset, we're going to be having more of these. We'll probably start mixing up the guests at some point. Keep some people, switch people out if they're unavailable or whatever. Some people were unavailable tonight, so that was the reason for this abysmal showing, frankly. And you know who you are, your band. But yeah, and then also we might also have some more casual average players as like representatives, again, to ask clarifying questions and all that. So with that said, that's it. Thedropshot.com. You can find all of our shit there. You can find links to fucking everything. We've got a YouTube channel, we've got a Twitter, a TikTok, all that good shit. And we also have a Patreon, patreon.com/thedropshot. 5 bonus episodes a month, weekly hangouts, Q&As, live Q&As, and much more. Check out the website for details. Patreon's the best way to support the program. You get the most out of it, and so do we. So consider checking that out. Also, I will add the rendering, how the fucking sausage is made, part 2 rendering is going to be live tomorrow morning. So I had a free Patreon release about how the notes are made, which was largely uninteresting unless you do a podcast. And I've now done the second part of that, which is the rendering process. So I just kind of showed everything that I do to take the podcast from pressing stop recording to being in your stupid fucking ears on the apps. I went through all of it. So if you guys are, streamers, podcasters, I know some of you are, you might be interested in that. That's going to be free, so you don't have to be a patron, but you can only find it on patreon.com/thedropshot. So go there. If you're not a patron, that's fine. That video will be free. It's like behind the scenes rendering, I think is what it's called. That's going to be up tomorrow. If you're listening on a podcast app, it's already live. So check out the website. You can watch or listen to that one. And while you're there, join the fucking Patreon. So anyways, that's it. Boys and girls, we're going to get some dubs in Verdansk. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. And as always, remember, stay humble.